untouchable no matter what happens. I mean, no matter what. You know, they can play terribly, they can come last place in the tournament, they can not even play their role, they can not want to play their role anymore, they can force someone else to play a role that they can't play, and these people are untouchable. So at that point in time, you go one or two ways. Either you're a friends team, in which case, cool, you've earned it, just be friends, just be like a sort of like I describe them as like the #1 NiP tribute band, you know, just play the old hits that everyone loves, but then don't pretend you're trying to be the best team in the world, because if you're trying to be the best team in the world, you do what it takes to win. You don't just only win when it's on your terms. So that's where I have my questions about NIP and where they're headed at the moment.
An interesting comparison to make as well. And as well as you regard, you know, you look at none other than Virtus.Pro, who have stuck together and are still contending for that very title that NIPs do seek. Standing in their way for today is none other than the Koreans, MVP Project. Eyes have been drawn to Kale in the past, Jason. He was someone you highlighted as, I think you spoke to Rambo, and he had some words.
Yeah,
words
Rambo said that, and I believe, I don't want to necessarily, I could be wrong. I think Blair also mentioned a couple things about some of these players that I brought in. But yeah, Rambo definitely, like the night before, was like, Kale is our player that like has this massive amount of impact. But actually, you know, what Bled did say about them, and I mentioned this yesterday, was very well-rounded team. They seem to have some kind of tactical plan, especially relative to other Asian teams, but they don't have like the star power. They don't have like the skill. This is why he said they actually look, if you think like theoretical Counter-Strike wise, they look like the best team in Asia, but they can't beat Tyloo because they don't have the skill to match up with them.
And Tyloo's already demonstrated their skill earlier on today. We saw them pushing some of the best, and the veto has begun. So perhaps we'll see what Draken was talking about, but either way, some bans have gone down. MVP purging Nuke, and Mirage immediately taken out by NIP.
Yeah, this is actually a problem for MVP, because I know actually Mirage is one of the maps they wanted to play, but you're never going to get it against NIP. That's been a traditional ban for quite some time. I know Cash is one they wouldn't mind playing if it can stay in there, so NIP themselves take out Inferno. Problem is you had to ban Nuke if you were the MVP Project players. Yeah. So they're going to give the choice here to NiP. And I think NiP actually probably go maybe towards Cobblestone, because if it's Cash, I think that's what MVP wants at this point in time with the two that are remaining. So we'll see what NiP's choice is overall.
I think if you're NIP in this situation, you have to just go what you're going to be most comfortable with. I don't think you consider MVP at all in this ban when at this stage in the ban process, right? When it's two maps, you just say this is the map we're the best on. We are the favorites no matter which map it is, no matter what map they want to play. We need to make sure we're comfortable, and they go for Cobble. Cash obviously having some PTSD perhaps to elimination matches.
Absolutely, and a map that they did actually at one point look fantastic on. I remember so many breakdowns of what makes their Cash so good, and now steering clear of it. We're talking about that a little later on, but they have got what seems like a lot of favorites here on the desk. We'll see what you guys said at home regarding those. It's EGB actually, so 5.6 to 1, so lots leaning towards the Swedes in this one. That's of course our sponsors giving you the odds for your bets. Okay, so I was not going to do predictions, but the knife round is about to go down on Cobble. Of the two, does Cobble make more sense to you, Duncan?
For NIP, I think it does. Like, I think if they've established that Cash is also a map that certainly MVP at least wanted a chance on, I do think it's been weaker for NIP, and they've largely been going off that old feeling that they used to have and thinking that they had a read on the map. They haven't been so strong on it recently, and obviously had some very high-profile losses on it. But I actually think Cobblestone, even towards the end of 2016, it was always like deceptively good for NIP, and obviously it is a classic scene for NiP Magic, having these crazy comebacks, obviously what allowed them to win Oakland. So I think it's a map that, for whatever reason, it's just always played to their strong suits. Get Right's always been very good at lurking on this map. It's actually a map where, surprisingly, Freiburg's always had a pretty decent impact. So I feel like it's a pretty good shout against a team that's fairly inexperienced, because it's a map that it's quite hard to read this one. You have to be pretty on point to know what means what when you see something.
It's a map with a Smoke Execute named after them. The sides have been chosen. The game is ready. Anders and Semler are standing by to guide you through to see if Korea can make an impact in this tournament.
Yes, indeed, Alex. We are ready. Beautiful shots coming in here from Cobblestone, and it's between NIP and MVP. Even sounds good, doesn't it?
It does, right? It's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I prefer it to VP MVP, which is what we had yesterday.
That was difficult.
It was kind of like a tongue twister. It's like, I'm talking about, you just had to be like MVP Project versus Virtus.Pro.
Yeah,
because otherwise it was like, nah, that's just not going to happen. But you're right. I mean, it's fun. It's going to be really fun to see what kind of level NiP can have here, because the players seem more comfortable. Duncan was pointing that out at the end there, towards the at the end towards the analyst desk. The fact that Get Right seems to shine. Like he's figured out this map. He plays one of the hardest positions on this map as well in drop room. Always kind of whining about it, but at the same time it feels like he's owned it. Like he's taken control of that situation and being like, right, this is a really hard place to hold on the map, but I'm going to make it mine and I'm going to excel at it. So I want to keep some eyes here on NiP really, just to see how they're developing their game on this map right now, because they're obviously going to have to use it if they want to get deep in this tournament versus some of the better teams.
Yeah, and this is one of those games where if you're Nip and you have a really you have a big hope of making it all the way to sort of quarters or semifinals something, then you got to beat a team like MVP surely with some margin here. And they are going to start on the terrorist side, and it will be MVP Project on the CT side. So once again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the last game of the day. We still have Virtus.Pro and SK coming over after this one, so you've got to stick around and invite your friends and all the rest of it. But so far, it's already been an explosive day. It's already been crazy, and maybe this game will be too. It's a bit of a slow start from the NIP's team here. They're just not really doing anything, just setting up. They did have a bit of an engagement over it long, and after that, they've just ground it down to a halt.
Showed themselves, and now they're trying to get it so that MVP are going to doubt their call to have 3 people on A. Maybe start thinking, okay, it's time to rotate over towards B. We haven't seen anything from Nip since, right? And so mind games at work here, and we'll see if it pans out, but it's not looking like it. This is some confidence from MVP. They're just going to sit and hold their ground on A side. Doesn't look like they're going to go anywhere. And now Nip are choosing to pull the trigger. They're going to make their dash, and they're about to run right headlong into the defense.
Oh, a lot of people here for the Korean side, but they're not really hitting the shots yet. Instead, Draken comes in with a great shot, taking down HSK. Get Right has fallen in the meantime. That was Kale in charge of that one. So now it's a 4-on-4. Forrest coming up with a headshot on Argency and Kale. He's practically down and out. It's going to be the Tech9 taking care of business. Rinda and Sign left.
Tough call here. You have that CZ75. It's Zine who's going to actually find the first kill here in the retake. Spots out Draken as well. Draken with that Tech9, though, going to do tremendous damage, and that's not even the case. Well, Forrest finds one, Draken the other. And a solid hold there. Once they got onto the site, Nip were able to make it work. And I think that comes down to a lot of information being gained in the mid as well. The fact that they knew that 2 players were in underpass, that's a big deal. All of a sudden, you're like, right, okay, now we have a good grip on where the rest of the players are going to be coming from.
It's got to be a bit disappointing if you're on the CT side there. You've got all those people ready. NIP had 1 smoke, so it's not like they could have been blocked off, you know, the whole team or anything like that. So, got to be disappointing. Now, I'm loving this. 4 HE grenades being picked up and over at the B bomb site, ready in case NIP try to make their way there. I always like it when, I mean, it always never works. I think we've seen like once or twice where it's really worked out, but I still like it.
I mean, personally, this is where you can see like MVP. They have an understanding of some of the fundamentals. Just the fact that, you know, you're going into an eco round. What are you going to do? You know, you need to have some kind of strategy, some kind of plan. You can't just like spread out and play default. So they're stacking on B. They're just waiting to see if Nip are going to try and change it up. And if they're going to come B site, right, we'll have everybody here. We'll have the HEs as well. But they aren't overcommitting. They haven't bought Kevlar, which means that they're going to have a stronger 4th round buy MVP when it does come in.
Absolutely, and at this rate, because no one is showing up here, might as well just save the HEs. Just try the same thing next round, why not? No point in going for anything more than that. I mean, Sign and Rinda could go for exits towards middle if they wanted to, but the rest should just probably stay away.
Very regimented play coming in here from MVP. I like this. Makes me wonder what we're going to see when they have the rifles, to be frank. But Nip going to actually go out and try and get these SMGs in the fight. You want to see if you can farm up a little bit of money. And so if they can run into HSK and Rinda here, this could actually be pretty good, considering they don't have Kevlar. That's the one risk here for MVP. If you run into an SMG, you're going to be in for a pretty sad time. But then Nip also look like they don't want to overextend. Freiburg is kind of hunting around a drop, but they're not going to be pushing through the doors by the looks of it.
Well, because MVP haven't shown themselves, you can almost guess that they would have armor. I mean, that's probably what NIP are thinking, that they must have body armor. So the last thing you want to do is give them a UMP. You know, that then suddenly things get a bit weird, you know, that they got armor and UMP. So I think a reasonable choice for both teams, in fact, just not to really try and force any of that stuff into the 3rd round here. We'll see if the grenades can be used now.
I'm curious to see if NIP are going to go for the same strategy 3 times in a row. So they repeated the pistol round right there, with 4 players going through A long. Bomb is making its way towards A long again. And so it looks like at NIP, there's like, why change? Why are we going to show more of our game if we can get 3 rounds here right off the bat? Get Right's making some noise over here towards B.
Yeah, and the thing is, it is pretty safe going long if you have a massive grenade advantage, because then you can, all of the hot spots over at long, they can just Molotov and grenade out like they sort of did last round. So they don't have to worry about very much, but it looks like they are going to change their minds. Could this really be happening? No, this is great news because we still have the 3 HEs grenade trading. This is all down to timing. Wish we could see like a 3rd-person view because we need to see where the first engagement is. You could see KL already has his primed. There's the Molotov out now. They're going to throw them in. NIP on the other side. The grenade's doing a lot of damage, but Freiburg even more on his side. It's going to be Rinder and Argency, and then Sign coming in with a kill as well, leaving Rinder in a 1-on-2. He's not got a lot of health left, and he's very isolated. Going to try and make his way out, and that's a good job, but he walks right into Forrest, so A lot of damage onto NIP, but they will survive.
It's a shame that it didn't go even better with those HEs. It looks like because they were throwing the grenades, they kind of got caught out there, but a lot of damage being dealt to NIP. Still, both teams should have a very healthy bye going in here into the 4th round, and now I get to see exactly what I was waiting for here. What do MVP show us when they have the rifles? Where are they going to choose to be aggressive? And with the limited options that you have playing CT Cobble, what's the approach? So, okay. So 2 on A, 1 holding connector. A lot of aggression from Zyne, actually, posting up at A long, looking for a fight.
Yeah, and this is not too bad. The question is if they're going to try and stay there. A lot of flashes in already. NIP quick on the trigger, but Argency, they line up for him. HSK is actually going to pick up one of those kills, and there was a team kill as well. An Exist and Argency continuing, taking down Draken, and now that leaves Get Right 1 versus 5, and trying to see if he can do some damage here. He's already picked up one, and tapping away a bit. Very low on health is HSK, so he could actually get that shot. It's so close, but he's not connecting.
For a second, I believed. There's a follow-up. He's making this very expensive. Thought for a second he'd find the 3rd as well. That was so close for Get Right. But they have the option to go for a double AWP save here if they want MVP. Could be able to pick that one up off of Get Right.
That was a team kill and 2 kills for MVP over at that bomb site. That is, and it really looked like they caught the Koreans off guard. It looked like NIP were much faster than they were expecting. They just didn't manage to peek the corner or check the corner properly.
Right under broken wall. Time and time again, you see it, where it comes back to bite you on T side. If you're both looking the same direction, which is what happened there with NIP, it'll come back to find you. And so, well, NIP, they're going to be fully committing to this round, obviously. They still have money in the bank, and so it means Draken with the AWP. And a decent enough buy, a little bit light on the nades. And so NIP are going to be looking for contact here. Where MVP, they've got Zyne and Kale, similar situation to what they used in the 4th round. Overlapping defense over here at A-Long.
Sign flashed in, instantly working out. Freiburg couldn't see a damn thing. And now, bit of a smoke that fails.
Oh, the mind games! Oh, this is sick, Sign. I hope it works for you. But Forrest has got the pop flash. Turns away, he sees it just in the nick of time. Can he get another kill? Oh, this is so sick. Hold your ground, take the fight. So close.
But look at who's there with the refrag. Kale instantly. Forrest goes down. Draken making his way over long. Still a 2-on-3 here, but MVP so far coming out on top. They've got a great setup. If Argency and Render can set up this kind of crossfire, they do have 2 Molotovs left, and we talked about this yesterday on Cobblestone. If you're back here and you give the T's space in the A-bomb sign to throw the Molotov, you could be in a lot of trouble. And it is a common spot to throw the Molotov, so I would say be very careful with that.
They aren't showing anything. You're right, Argency. Balcony, is he going to go for the peek? Yeah, he does. Not sure if he spotted him, but he is down by Van now. That's about to save for exactly the perfect timing. They peek simultaneously. Good play there at the end for MVP, and pure frustration for NIP. They just got caught out at A-Long, and a drop as well from the looks of it. It looks like, I believe that was Get Right, really trying to take advantage of that nade timing to get the trade, and he just lost the duel outright.
This is a very good job. Denying the bomb plants, not even allowing them on there, so they're going to be down with the money. They already didn't have a lot in that round for NIP, so probably going to be a very, very slim, couple of pistols, something like that. Yeah, they did upgrade the pistols, and that's it. 1 flashbang on Forrest, so you have to assume they're just going to try and get as close as they can, and then once contact is made, go with the flashbangs and see what happens. And long range here for Kale, and that's good news.
Yeah, I'm not a super fan of Zyne holding with the AWP over there. He's at risk of getting rushed down. Big step out wide into the open. And now, yeah, Zyne, he's going to get sandwiched. This is a dangerous position. He needs to find that shot. Renda's there to support, though, and Argency with the swag. Just charging down Draken, gets the kill.
Pretty good job from Sign staying alive against Forrest. Leaves Exist 1 versus 3, but with 23 health and an AK and quite a lot of time to work with, this is a bit scary now.
It definitely got a little out of hand. Everybody got their kill on MVP so far. Just HSK who needs to chime in and find Exist eventually. If Exist can actually make it out of here with the AK, and yeah, it seems like that's going to be the play here for him. This is perfect as far as he's concerned. They're not going to get the bomb plant, but now he's saved 2,700. He's going to get a full buy in the next round, no problem.
Oh, is he going to go even deeper than that? Because technically he still has the time to run in and shoot them in the back.
Seriously.
30 seconds, it can be done, but a good read from HSK, and they have everything covered from this angle. He knows that no one can sneak in from behind here, so this is a pretty good job, really well done, no problem at all. Heads up play coming out of the Korean team, saving both the AWPs, even if it was a bit scary in the beginning. It does work out. So that ties up the scoreline at 3-3. And moving us into the 7th round, NIP. Now they have rifles again. I feel like they've been very aggressive some of the rounds, NIP. They've really put on a lot of speed, which is, I think, something that they haven't really been able to do in the past, I think. There's been so much hesitation on this team. It's almost been unbearable to watch sometimes.
Identical setup to the one used in the last round. Although Zion has gone more aggressive this time around. HSK going to get denied. Lots of nade damage taken there. He was trying to go for the aggressive peek on B plateau with the op. He takes an HE to the face instead, but quick reactions here. Changing it up. Argency now boosted up on big box.
Is he going to get Molotov down? I think they may have tried it, but I think it maybe even failed. HSK gets one and actually falling back into the Molotov, and there's a kill again. Forrest going down to another Molotov, and that means Draken is alone now, 1 versus 4. Do anything here. The M4 on the other side, and a great headshot coming in from the newest edition. Goes for the spray long range, takes down HSK, and now it's a 1 versus 2. Kalen Siner still left here. This is excellent play.
He's got a minute to work with as well. A lot of time, this is such an important round as well here for NIP. They need to establish the economy, but it's just not going to happen. Draken looking around the angles. I mean, what can you really hope to do? He has so many angles to worry about at that point. Just gets caught. And so MVP, once again, this B rush is just not panning out well for NIP. The early aggression B, they just keep getting punished.
These 2 kills for HSK really make the big difference. So a lot of great grenades for NIP, but none of them that would stop that position. No smokes, no Molotovs to clear out the chicken coop, and maybe that was the key part in that round. Now NIP again, back to very little or nothing here. Sign getting the information early on.
Still going for the shoulder peeks out here? I don't think they spotted each other either. That's frustrating, at least as far as Zion is concerned. Look at this. I mean, this is insane aggression with an AWP, no less. It's the flash. He's going to get the shot. No chance to fend him off, and NIP looking to pounce, trying to run him down, but the rotation's already coming through. There will be 3 players here on the A site ready to receive nip.
Yeah, I like the aggression. I really like it. This is interesting. MVP at 4 rounds. A flashbang into the corner, but Kale managed to turn around in time. Freiburg still picks up the kill, but they've lost Exist and Forrest, and now that's just on Draken, and there's not much he could do here. 1 versus 4. This is going to be a 5th round for MVP, and who would have seen that coming? We're on the CT side here for the Koreans, and they're really doing a good job.
They're going toe-to-toe with NIP. They've clearly got setups that they're comfortable with as well. And while Draken, did he manage to pick up the bomb? Yes, he just snagged it in the smoke. And so we're going to start seeing them start exactly spreading out here for MVP. Rotation from Rinda over towards B to cover that angle. There was enough time for Draken to rotate back around over towards that site to try and get the bomb plant. And now that leaves Zion alone on the A site. This is definitely a little bit scary. Although HSK is holding from connector.
Yeah, such a good position. It does miss the shot. Zion did at least, but HSK with the quad kill, so they are going to be just fine here. Money back in NIP's hands, and they can at least use that for something. 5-3 the scoreline. That's 5 rounds in a row for the Korean side. I'm very impressed, and you know, again, if this becomes a vector for how well NIP is going to be doing in this tournament, that's not good.
No, but I mean, it's just what's so interesting is that you have to just have pure confidence in your fundamentals if you're NIP, right? Because you're going up against these Asian teams, you have no idea what they're gonna show up with. Tyloo, they might as well be like mixing right now because they're even playing with the stand-in.
Yes,
they've had roster changes recently. MVP, very little seen of them, even though they are one of the top tier teams in Asia for sure. It's just they're not competing on the international stage, and so there's very little to go off of, you know, in terms of prep for NIP. How are they going to play on LAN? So you have to just be so confident in your ability to play your game. It just doesn't seem like NIP really have that right now starting off on this map.
No, and this is even one of the tournaments where they have Threat with him, him. That he's right there, looking tan and all. So I'm just, you got to wonder if they don't even have that excuse, which sometimes I think we even sort of bring up for them. That maybe Threat wasn't there, but it's not the case right now.
I mean, they've made quite a few changes, it seems, in IP as well. You know, like they've taken a leaf out of Astralis' book. They're going for the sports psychologist, trying to help get, or more like what is it, sports psychologist or performance coach?
Yes.
Whatever terms, bunch of terms.
What
But, you know, they're taking steps.
What would happen if you hired the other team's sports psychologist and just paid them more to give them bad advice? It's next level, isn't it?
What are you telling? What is Device telling you?
If I had to hire a sports psychologist for my team, if I had one, I would hire Duncan for it. I think he'd be good for the job. Motivate people.
Motivational speaker,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, you know, Anders, there's no power on earth like the power of laughter, right?
Yeah,
Of joy.
or the power of not wanting to fail.
Sorry, yoy.
Yoy, pure yoy.
I mean, Duncan would definitely make you laugh, and they'd probably make you cry. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just balances out.
Yeah.
But HSK, that was a big round from HSK with the quad kill. I like the one nitpicky thing where it's just like, all right, Zion, I get it. You want to play aggro A-long with that AWP. But then I kind of want to see it flipped, where instead he's holding from connector with the op, where he can take that pot shot into underpass, right? And have the rifle in the place where he's probably going to get rushed down, close quarters. But, whatever works. And clearly they seem comfortable right now, MVP.
Yeah, they really do. And I think from the way the pacing was in the beginning of this half, NIP came into this thinking, we're the better team and we're going to show it by really just running and gunning a lot of it. Like, really quick and B, really quick on long, just trying to overpower them in the beginning. Now, when that is your first plan of action, what do you fall back to? You know, you sort of, you know, you play all of your best cards right at the beginning, and the other team says, well, that's fine, but we're still winning. And then, you know, now I understand why they want to take now the tactical timeout has turned into a technical one, but I kind of understand why they wanted the timeout, because they need to dig pretty deep here and come up with something that can actually work. They've sort of shown a lot of their hand already.
What?
Yeah, I mean, if you were wondering, the Korean players are excited.
Was that like an impression of NIP right now? They're just so scared and shaking.
Something like that.
Freaking out right now. Freaking out, man. I mean, what has worked for NIP so far is that a long take with 4 players. So they could try and go back to that strategy at least. They haven't really gone a long apart from that one round, obviously, where they were able to walk into the trap.
That worked so much better when they had all the utility, right? Because the problem with taking long without the utility is there's like 10 different corners that you need to Molotov to even get through, right? And I mean, the best example of what happens if you do it against like a team like VP, right? You know, Snacks is just gonna, he just keeps falling back again and again and again, and I don't know, it's very tricky. So now they really are in some trouble, I feel like. Why not go for that standard B execute where you cut up the B bomb site? Just make the wall of smokes. Throw a single Molotov towards HSK if he's by the chicken coop to get rid of him, and then get the bomb down and go for an afterplant. You know, just at least try and get that far into it. I would probably prefer something like that. Like, not too elaborate, but good enough that you can maybe try and get rid of HSK, who's active on the B bomb side, so they even have that information.
I love to see this confidence from HSK.
Yes.
He keeps trying to make that plateau peak work. I mean, that broken wall, why not with the op? If you get the timing right, you can you can find that first pick and put MVP in a very advantageous position. So now they've used quite a bit of their utility MVP, but this is kind of where it starts slowing down a little bit. It seems like they're going to start holding on to it. But underpass, once again, infiltrated by the Ninjas. Now, we've seen this sort of setup here from MVP before. Holding close, it's going to be Kale.
Forrest.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, he wanted to make damn sure that no one was sneaking in on the other side. Now instead, it's going to be NIP going for a boost. One that, incidentally, we've also seen from Virtus.Pro in the past. Get Riders down and drop, so they've managed to make their way across the map here. They've got some map control on the NIP side. Can they build anything off of it? That's the big question. Sign and Rinda playing it a bit of a duo up there, while Kale is in the middle. If he goes down, then their position becomes really hard to hold, so he really needs to stay alive. They should have no problem holding for NIP, but look at this.
They have no more flashes, though.
Yeah, and they're also out of time. They got 30 seconds to do this. NIP I'm not sure about this. I think they may have gone a bit too deep on this one. Exist will go down. Rinder traded quickly. Draken goes down to Sign, and now going to go back and peek into the middle. Sign looking for it. The flick not going to connect. Freiburg pushing for it, and he's going to get the kill. Forrest showing up with the kill on Argency now. 15 seconds, and Kale coming up. If he can just get the kill on the bomb carrier, but he's not realizing. Oh man, he could have gone for that peek. He's going to go for it now, and it's a bit too late. He goes down to Freiburg. He would have had the time. If he had got the kill on the guy carrying the bomb, I think with the Forest there, that would have been potentially lethal to NIP.
There would have been that moment's hesitation. Get Right would have had to pounce from connector and hope that he got the kill. How did it all fall apart, though? It seemed like they had every advantage. No nades for NIP to make it easier for them to get in. Just felt like perhaps MVP got a little too excited once they started strong with the initial pick, that they started rushing onto the site and got caught out in the open. That's the kind of thing that will cost you here versus NIP. I mean, NIP, apart from Draken, obviously, veterans to the core. You give them an edge like that, and they're going to be able to take advantage of it for sure. But they still had the money to buy. There's the peak, and HSK wins the duel versus Draken. He gets tagged in the meantime. He's down to 16 HP, but still, there's the opening kill for MVP very early on here.
You got to feel bad for him as well, because he actually had that figured out really well. He was the one who had the sort of primary position. He was the one who was already pre-peeking that angle, and just, I think the shot went through the side of the wall then, so not enough for the kill. That's just unfortunate. 10th round here. It's been 5 in a row for MVP. Now finally NIP picked up a round, and it's been just too long coming. Now they have to continue. If they lose this round, I don't even know what's going to happen. Freiburg, the headshot through, onto Sign there, and Get Right, thinking there was someone else on the other side.
Are they going to go and commit to the A side, though? Bomb is starting to rotate over. We're evened up, and no. They have underpass control, that much is sure, but they haven't fully cleared out long, and it seems like the bomb is going to hang around towards B a little bit longer. Kale is close enough to hear the footsteps, however. That's going to keep that defense fixed on A site, and now there's the window of opportunity here for NIP, but once again, they're running the clock down so low. 35 seconds left, and they're nowhere near the bomb site yet.
They have to get past Argency, and he's got the AWP. This could be interesting. HSK very close to his death, and now 25 seconds. Can they get the long control? Instead, they're going to put 3 people down, drop Argency, picking up one, going to go for the repeat, picks up Exist as well. Almost a triple. Get Right finally takes him down, but it might have been too late. It's 15 seconds here. Forrest gets one. The bomb is miles away, though, and he gets a double kill. Wanting in Kale, he can hear that, and now 9 seconds, 8 seconds. Forrest, if he gets this clutch, it's almost going to be unreal. Kale already moving in. Forrest planting behind the statue, and now he's going to go for the peak. He moves to the right side, gets the headshot, and it's a full clutch. Forrest, absolutely godlike here for NIP.
Unbelievable. That's the difference maker right there. I'm just listening to the other commentators, because we actually have commentators on both sides of us rushing over here on the left, and the Chinese commentators on the right.
Yes, the Chinese commentators are loving it. No, that was very well done. Forrest absolutely picking up that one, and considering how little time he had left. And it's tricky if you're Kale, because Forrest had just enough time that he could have cancelled it and gone for the fight instead. So if you make too much noise and run in and try and get him while he's defusing, you could lose in a different way. So not necessarily easy. And finally, NIP have managed to break the Korean economy, and now Draken coming in, shooting Argency in the back, and that's a good start. That leaves clear the B bomb site. Finally, the Swedish team are starting to pick it up here.
Yeah, 2 kills. UMP to play with now as well. Unfortunately, it's out of bullets, so don't get caught. And he just barely makes it around the corner. Kale, HSK trying to cover his teammate. And so Kale, I doubt he's going to survive, because you already have Get Right closing in for the flank. And yep, finds the kill in underpass. And so it's all on HSK, but they know where he is. 4 kills picked up with SMGs, so that's a lot of money in the bank for NIP. They're going to be happy about that one. But we do have just a single round of eco for MVP. They have enough money to go for the buy here. How do they play it? Argency, probably so you can pick up a kit and full nades. Goes for the UMP. Zine, could he go for the same, or is he just going to go rifle Kevlar? Cutting it a little close, though.
Yeah, it's not the most impressive buy that they've got going on, but it can work. HSK with the AWP, that means no armor, but on this map, it's not really the end of the world, except the fact that he's going chicken coop. I'm not sure about that. Argency with a headshot on Get Right. That's one way to get started. When you don't have the armor, you really want to avoid like places you could get grenaded, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And here I was thinking that it was going to be Zine, but Zine has been spotted. They know that he's holding close. Still alive in danger as well, and not for long. Forrest eventually finds the kill. Zine getting punished for this over-aggression. Last round it was Freiburg, or the round before when he had a rifle. This time it's Kale once again alone, and that's forced Rinda to rotate over to balcony. And he's fully going to commit to the A side here, Rinda. They're doubling up. 2 on A, 2 on B here for MVP, and NIP all grouped up, ready to go.
It's going to be so many targets. Kale, not even a chance. Freiburg able to get the kill, and now Rinda is going to be put to the test. He's got no grenades to buy any time. He does have a bit of backup, but it's just urgency with the UMP, so not really the best backup that's showing up at the moment. And he's even smoked out, and NIP actually taking their time getting onto the bomb site. They've got all the grenades. 1 kill happening, but no chance to stay alive any longer. And now HSK might as well save the AWP here, so it was a good job on NIP. I'm going to bring them a 7th round.
This tactical pause has made a world of difference for NIP.
Yeah.
Slowing it down, taking the time to talk it over, to breathe a little bit. I mean, it's worked a world of wonders here for him because now they seem to be very much in control of the situation. It's MVP who are the ones who are just backpedaling. The AWP will get saved here for HSK, so they have a hope. They'll have the hero up. Doesn't look like anybody from NIP is going to be able to hunt him down. But what is going on here for MVP? Already you can see NIP, they're starting to adjust to this A defense, because that's multiple times now where Zine has got caught over at A long, over towards danger. And Kale isn't having much fun either. So this A defense, it seems like NIP are having a little bit more success over here, and so they seem to want to be taking advantage of it early on in the round.
Yeah, and you almost wonder if, I mean, so some of the previous rounds where Sign has been doing a good job over there, he has had the AWP. And this time it was the M4, and you could tell he wasn't really sure how to take that fight, or if even to take it or just fall back. It was a bit of hesitation, I think, on his part there. Forrest is starting to catch up to HSK, who's been doing the majority of the fragging for the Korean side. But definitely, I feel like you've been able to tell even yesterday that Forrest is also very, very much tuned into these games. Like Forrest is one of those players, I would say, and maybe especially because you could see this in his 1.6 games as well, who's sort of almost wired into the game in a different way. Like him and Neo, for instance, they have some crazy movement, and it only shows in like very specific scenarios where they navigate the map in a very like special way. It is all really interesting. But Freiburg going to be able to get the kill on Kale, and in the middle here, not much of a chance for Forrest. Goes through the smoke, and Rinda's ready.
Yeah, tried to make the play there, but it's not meant to be, and now they have an AK to play with. Rinda will get caught, though. Oversteps. Draken is there with the pick, and that leaves him in a bit of an awkward spot. Zine not going to get flashed, but they're going to come around the corner as a group, and he's going to get overwhelmed. No, not a chance. Argency is there to pick up 1 kill. That's Get Right gone. And so now they can fully focus on this A-side MVP. It's on HSK here to hit a shot with the AWP, but unfortunately he's getting Molotov'd all over the place.
Yeah, he did try and stick it for a bit, just stand there to see if he could get the kill. That's a pretty good idea. It didn't work out. Goes for a shoulder peek, and now trying to just sit in the angle. A bit of a jump there from Drake, and that's actually a very good idea. HSK is going to go down regardless. Freiburg with the triple saves the AWP and brings NIP an 8th round. And suddenly it's Freiburg tied with Draken, in fact, so those two on top.
Taking point. Get Right and Exist both had a bit of a slow game so far. Forrest with the big round. 2 players in double digits, Argency and HSK for MVP. But yeah, Kale is struggling this game, and we really haven't, we've seen some hesitation out of him. We really haven't seen him be able to shine much, and that's kind of costing him right now, MVP. They are lacking firepower in these sorts of situations. So 8-5, NIP in the lead. A full buy for NIP as well. They have all the options. And Zine has an AWP in hand once again, so we'll see if that actually pans out for him.
Yeah, I like that. It seemed like he was doing a better job. He's way more defensive than he was earlier, and if you notice, HSK is not being that aggressive either, so is this part of the Korean strategy, or is it because they've lost some faith in that aggression? And I think if it's the latter, then I'm not sure about it. I hope that they haven't sort of lost faith in that part of it, because I think they need to keep doing at least some of that. Right now they're letting NIP just be all over the map. Couple of shots fired to mask the sound of Get Right dropping down, in case anyone's wondering.
Now he's got the angle. That has been one thing for MVP. Very little in the early rounds. It seemed like they were challenging and drop. But now it seems they've just kind of given up on that whole part of the map. They allow Get Right to take it over round after round. It seems like they've been fairly effective at controlling him over there. Yeah. Although I'm saying that, They were thinking about getting close, and now HSK's got the window. Argency alone on the B site, and the full rotation out towards that A site. Now MVP, they've caught on to something here.
Well, it's Argency who's playing that aggressive on Plateau. That means they pretty much know what's happening here. Shot on assist does some damage. That's a great smoke for Sign. That's going to give him so much more room to work with. HSK taking down Freiburg. Shot in the back is Kale, but it might have been too late here. Exist going to find another headshot now. Spraying up from the truck. It's Forrest taking down one, trying to make the jump over. That is almost madness. The bomb is dropped. There's only 7 seconds left. Forrest going to pick up 1 kill, but he's been shot in the back. Argency trying to hide. There's no more time. I don't think they get the bomb plant in time. It's going to be really close. And no, MVP going to win the time. Argency stays alive in the corner. Forrest gets a triple, but it's not enough. They just didn't have the time for it. What a mad round.
It even saves the op. What a hero. And it actually works this time. Forrest and Garrett, you can see Garrett, he was a second off getting that kill to save it for NIP. You can see the head shake there, the frustration. You know how close you were. It was definitely within your means to end this in double digits, Nip, to get up to 10 rounds. Now MVP have a chance to bring it back to 8-7. So a full buy for Nip, no surprise there. Get right a little light on the nades, but the rest of his teammates well equipped, and they're just taking point here. Exists just a smattering of damage over by Plateau, taken from an HE.
That is a bit disappointing if you're MVP. You win that round, and regardless, you have to play with 3 UMPs. That's the nade you're playing on that CT side when you don't have the money. HSK back to the more aggressive style of AWPing over here, and like I said, I much prefer that. You saw what that aggression gave them last time, is that they could they knew it was an A push, and they probably should have won that round even quicker than they did. Rinda goes down in return, so still a 4-on-4 there. Let's see what's going to happen.
Well, this is Get Right in his element now. Behind enemy lines, and if he comes through connector, he's definitely going to be able to spot the man who's boosted. Forrest catches him looking the wrong way. But HSK in the meantime has found a kill on Draken, so somehow we're still back into a 3-on-3. And Kale looks like he wants to take the fight to Forrest. There it is, the peek, the shot through the wall. Forrest wins the duel and a man advantage, but they found the bomb. MVP are right on top of the bomb. Are they going to figure it out? Did he see it?
They must have. A lot of noise being made by Argency. Why is he running that much? HSK gets a kill, and Argency takes down Forrest. Oh, no.
Now they spot the bomb.
NIP. How did they let go of this? You get right that far in behind, and yet you just can't find it. Get right. 1 versus 2 here with 20 seconds. It's going to have to be slightly quicker than this if you'll get right.
You just have to find the kills now, Get Right. Let's go. And unfortunately, it's just not meant to be. Argency holding the angle, finds the headshot, and just a chaotic round to end the half.
So 1 round where they run out of time, and 1 round like this where they sort of let go of the bomb. That's going to be really frustrating. I mean, NIP did a good job of coming back into the game here and not just outright losing the first half, but still, I don't think they're going to be very satisfied. That is the first half done, and it was very much more exciting than we thought. We're going to be right back after a quick break. right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the second half coming up here between MVP Project and NIP. It's on Cobblestone, and it's been quite a crazy ride in the first half. It ends up 8-7 in favor of MVP. Who would have thought?
Yeah, in a world where you were expecting 10-5 out of NIP, to be frank.
Probably, yes.
The last 2 rounds there, you got to be thinking, like, yeah, and you got to know they get right. You know, they're trying to giggle it off, basically, right now, NIP, but they could have done a bit better here. Still, 8-7, not the end of the world. You're going into your CT side now, NIP. The only issue here at the back of your mind is, what are MVP going to show on Cobble?
Yes, I mean, we just don't know. We're going to have to live and learn at this point. But they seem very excited. And what I like the most about it is how many aggressive peaks they took on the CT side. There was a point where they sort of held off on it after that timeout. It seemed like the Koreans sort of slowed down a bit. But that's a really, really good sign. Again, I like it when some of these Asian teams come out and don't show any sign that they realize they're playing against some top level teams. They just pretend that they're any old opponent. I think that's the right mentality. That's the right mindset.
Even though it's great to see, it's just so fun to see these teams that travel here because, well, you don't really get, A, you don't see them ever, but yeah. B, they're playing against their heroes, basically. When you see them interact with NIP or with any of the other, the famous teams, with like the 1.6 players and everything, all these guys are just like, freaking out, like, can I get your signature? Can I get your photo get right? And yet here they are, going toe-to-toe with NIP on the map. They've got to be over the moon right now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in like early, I think it's like 2013 when we went to, was it 13 or 14? I can't remember. We went to Beijing anyway.
On the
and
13?
It was like the MSI something.
MSI beat it.
Yeah, that was right. It was right before DreamHack Winter because that was when Fnatic ended up doing pretty well in that one.
And that's when you had like a 40-degree fever.
Yeah. It was all bad. I was in a spaceship, yeah.
Yeah.
It was all strange. But that event, tons of people showed up to get autographs from all the Swedish players. Those were the only ones they knew, like the Swedish players. They were just like, yeah, watch you 1.6. It was great. So, yeah.
It's a huge fan base over there.
Definitely.
And especially coming in, right? It's like Malmo last year. It was fun to watch Tyloo interact with them. Like, they would, it's just like, can you prac? Do you want to? Like, we don't want to bother you, if you're doing something. It's just like... And obviously, all the Swedish players are just like, wow, yeah, of course, well, let's go. Like,
it's going to be, I mean, I'm interested. I'm really interested, especially because normally the hard part of playing Cobblestone is actually being aggressive on CT side. And I think they solved that puzzle pretty well, MVP. So if they can continue the aggression and do even better on T side, I don't know.
Now is going to be... Well, it seems like we're going to have a replay here. Guys, in case you're wondering, just a quick technical pause. We had an issue with TeamSpeak. We should be sorting it out soon here. Hopefully, because I really do want to get into the second half. I'm excited to see what MVP have to show us, not only in the pistol round, but how they approach the map when they have the AWP in play on HSK, because HSK is popping off. He's going wild, leading the frag chart so far for MVP.
Yes, he's been playing very well. And Sign was playing well on the other side. So, I mean, you had both the extremities of the map covered by pretty good AWPers, and then everywhere in between. NIP just couldn't make much of a breakthrough happen, but...
Yeah, it just felt like it was a frustrating half, I think, here for Kale. Like, I feel like we didn't see... There were some moments where you saw what Kale was capable of, but this is where, like, the lack of experience, I think, really comes into play for some of these players, where MVP Project, clearly, they've put some thought into the game. They seem to understand some of the basic fundamentals, like just don't run in and die, give money, retake as a unit, these sorts of things. But when it gets chaotic, that's usually what you're talking about. When it gets chaotic, to just instinctually know what you need to do in a chaotic situation, that just comes with time. And so we're going to see if they have just enough here, MVP, to pull out a win versus NIP. We're in the second half, and they trail by 1 round.
Let's see. 1 smoke on Argent, seeing a couple of flashbangs. Not necessarily a dead giveaway, but I always imagine that when you only buy 1 smoke, it's probably because you want to smoke the doorway on A and just want to try and go for that. Drake had already been pushed back quite far, getting run over by Rinda. That's a very good start, and they actually don't even commit to it. They're just going to wait. They will put up the smoke, which is a big sign to NIP that they will eventually continue. So how long before they realize they're already rotating Xyst on over, leaving one person over at the B bomb site? That is scary. But now MVP have to move before NIP realize what's up.
Oh, this is wonderful. It's going to work out. Look at this. There's still only Forest here. Xyst is over in Connector watching drop. They have fully focused on the A site. NIP, there's a big window here for MVP to go through, and they are going to commit 3 players up long B. And what, they're backing off?
Yeah.
They're going up drop? What is
lot
this?
of calls being made in midair. Exist going to be able to take the first headshot. Freiburg following up. Get Right gets one on Rinder, and now 2 versus 2. And still on the A-bomb side here is Get Right. Ready and waiting. Did he spot out HSK? I'm not sure that he saw him then. The vent might have been in the way. Now they feel like they got it covered. They're making a lot of noise, so Get Right can at least call it in. But with only 27 seconds, they're making their way onto the bomb side. Get Right not going to get that click in. HSK putting down the bomb. 20 seconds now. And MVP, first part of the plan has been successful. Now can they hold off against NIP coming for them? Forrest already being tagged up a little bit. Now Get Right on top of them with the USB. He's up on the roof. They don't spot it. Get Right gonna get both the headshots in. A triple kill for him. They just never looked up.
Unbelievable. I don't think that MVP expected Nip to take the bait that long, to wait over at A for that long. And so it just got so chaotic there in connector. They got caught in a sandwich. I think they were just really hoping to be able to catch somebody rotating over from A, not finding Exist, just holding solid, and it's still another 2 players that they had to work through. This is why the USP silence is so powerful. Same with the M4A1 silence. They had no idea where they were getting shot from.
He had 3 bullets to get the last kill, so could have been scary.
Oh, auto shotty in play. What is this business, Freiburg?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I think that was Get Right hitting the wrong button then. Draken with pretty big peak. You've got to be very careful. There is, after all, a bit of a firing squad waiting on the other side.
And yet he took 0 damage.
Yeah, I don't even know how.
Not a single point of damage taken when you're peeking into 4 people. That's an achievement, I think. That's like you're channeling Neo at that point.
Go for it again. Very, very aggressive here. Why not? He knew they got the bomb down, so he can expect that they wouldn't have armor. So a lot of these fights are just that easy to win.
They need to take a deep breath here, MVP. I mean, come on. Dragon is like peaked for days over at A, and he's still only on 60 HP. You got to find some kills. Argency obliterated by Freiburg. Zion is close enough, though, to trade. So a single kill with that auto shotty. Bomb getting chucked back up. But they're boxed in now. Draken's at the flank. So coming back through T-Halls. There it is. The kill? No. Finally gets it.
Yeah, he got 3 kills, but 2 of them with the USP and 1 with the UMP. So not the optimal configuration, but it'll be fine anyway. Save the auto shotgun, even though they did. Madness. Because they must know that MVP are going to be buying into this round, so.
If Freiburg is playing drop, though, this could be... Maybe that's the only thing. It's like he's playing broken wall or he's playing drop. He's going to want to play close quarters part of the map with that shotgun. And so it looks like NIP 3B to start, 2 over on A. And they're going to have to suss out what MVP are going to try and bring to the table here now that MVP have the money to buy. Interesting decision from Kale to go for the Galil instead of the UMP, and that's going to cost him in the end. Draken taking the duel, instantly traded, though, so into a 4-on-4.
Frustrating for the Korean side there, just the UMP. If they had been a bit earlier, maybe they could have caught him, and that would have been a nice way to get started. Now it's just an even trade. It will favor them slightly, but we still don't really know what they can show us here on the T side. But they played the CT side very well. Seems like they're slowing down quite a bit. You know, if you just looked at the CT side, you think maybe they would be even more aggressive on T side, because usually that's what you're allowed to do, but they're taking their time.
This from Nip, though. Minute left on the clock. Just starting to clear out long. But there's 3 players set up here on the A side for NIP, and this could be brutal. Freiburg going to turn around, obliterates Argency. Not going to find the trade. Once again, Sign steps up, but he's not going to live for long. Exist is there. This is just tit for tat. We're into a 2-on-2, and they're nearly dead even on HP.
Assist with strong position. He's going to stand up right in the face of HSK. Nothing he could do. Rinder going to get the bomb plant down, but he's only got 11 health, and Forrest is in route. He's got 100 health, so I'm not sure how he can really make it out. He's up on top, and Exist will shut him down for a triple kill. And it will be NIP getting 11 rounds now. Really good job. Taking their time.
Yeah,
so greedy.
AKs. There we go. They both got kits. They've got more than enough time to get the defuse. And Freiburg, yet again, making that shotgun count. Point blank. That's just, that's brutal.
7-11, and we'll see. This is any position like this where all you have to do is let go of your crouch key, and then you're suddenly popping out of nowhere is always going to be strong. So that was well played by Exist. Auto shotgun in the hands of Freiburg again. I like it. So far, he's made it work. You can obviously give him a lot of money to work with. And the Korean side forcing up again. Galil, UMP, Tech9 there. It isn't exactly what they were hoping for, I think.
Very early with the boost. Is Exist going to get greedy, though? I mean, they are setting up for some aggression, but once the peaks come through, going to get that smoke up. There it is, blocking it off. And this time it's Nip just stacking up on B. They have 4 players holding very early at B. Only Draken with that AWP over at Connector on A, looking towards Underpass. Is this where they start to shift it up? It looks like it. It looks like they want to get that op in play over on the B site.
Random shot coming out from Forest. Got to be very careful. Shooting through that smoke with the AK. If he goes down, then you have to assume the rest will try and follow it up, but there is still a strong setup even behind this. Exist is there, and over by Chicken Coop, Draken is playing as well, so actually even if Forest did go down, they would have a strong setup at this bomb side regardless. Grenade starting to rain in, 47 seconds mid-air going to be signed, trying to make the jump over the wall, but even when they get down from that wall, it's not going to get any easier. Rinda gets a kill, but last one left, and a triple here for the newcomer, putting NIP at 12 rounds. Things are looking really good now for the Swedish team.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Nip are getting a very solid read every round here on what MVP want to achieve. Maybe a little bit too cut and dry when it comes to these executes for MVP, especially when you're low on utility. You may not have all the nades that you want to run the perfect strat that you fine-tuned in prac. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some frustration here for MVP, because if they don't have the confidence to walk out and just get headshots all over the place, right? And if their strats aren't working, that leaves you in a deep, dark place.
Yeah, like I said, I wish they would have been playing more aggressive here. I feel like they need to really take some fights with NIP. Slow style like this can really backfire, but see if they can find the economy and the will to try and do that. There's some clips here from the first half if you missed it. If you're just joining us, then you should stick around. Like we said again, the last game of the day is going to be between Virtus.Pro and SK, so that's a bit of a classic matchup, and I think a really fun one. I really want to see how that's going to work out.
Absolutely. Because I'm wondering if SK was sandbagging us yesterday. If they, because it definitely was not an easy thing to watch SK play. They looked just a little weak, but then there were some glimmers. There were moments where you're like, I don't know what's going on here. And so VP looked very good yesterday in the first match. Definitely going to be fun to see who goes 2-0 in the group and who's going to be battling on 1-1 in the mid of the pack. 12-7, NIP in the lead, and a half by coming in here from MVP.
Yes, indeed, and still very slow even with everything. Going to be grenades all over the place from that wall all the way out in the yard. That is actually a pretty cool grenade. Now, can they make that work? You can cut off the bomb site from that angle, but it looks like they're getting shut down in the middle, so you have to assume that grenade is just to make sure you're not getting peeked from that angle, but doesn't matter. Just the presence there for NIP way too big. Still, I actually think that's quite a cool grenade.
I like it. If you're pushing out from A long.
Yeah, it works both ways, right? Because if you're pushing up the ramp, then you're a bit safer from that angle. But if you're pushing out from long, yeah, then maybe it can save you from someone holding doorway or something. So.
Yeah, or van or what. I mean, it can open up the track for you to get behind Woodstack.
Yeah.
But this is just looking like the Nip show at this point. I'm curious. Now we have all of the nades in play for MVP, at least on 4 of the players. HSK just had enough for the AWP. Draken getting boosted up. Going to miss the shot. A little bit of information gained there. And how does Sign approach this? He's got that Molotov. It's going to force Freiburg back. And once again, Freiburg with the auto shotty. He's never giving it up. He's channeling his inner JW.
Yeah, or Chris J, I think, was using it a lot on this map as well at some point. Oh no, Sign! From the fire right into the auto shotgun. Freiburg trying to reload in the corner, but he's not going to be allowed to. Now it's trouble. Forrest showing up, but he can't win against Rinda. I have no idea how. Forrest looked like he had the perfect opportunity. Now instead, 1 on B. That's Exist holding strong while close by is Get Right. And more than a minute left for MVP to make their way on. This should be a round they can win. Exist flashed, can't see a single thing. Get Right spraying furiously, but now he's alone. He's sandwiched in 1 on 3. He's only got a couple of bullets left. Going to be a headshot straight onto Rinda. And this can be done. He's got 8 bullets, still has not reloaded. Now the bomb plant coming through and a headshot from HSK. So MVP finally making it to 8 rounds.
Yeah, I'm glad that they actually decided to breathe there, the remaining 2 players. That third player rushing in from Connector, a little bit too aggressive, a little bit out there. But the remaining players just keeping their cool, holding their angles, getting the bomb plant. And so it finally worked to change the pace over towards that B site. But you got to give it to Rinda. I mean, really, like, again, it feels like what we saw from Fnatic a little bit, where it's just like big rounds, but big individual plays to make those rounds happen. In this case, it was Rinda to shine for MVP.
Draken is not going to go for the fight. It looked like maybe he was interested. They have got a fairly aggressive setup over here. And I like this. It's such a simple 1-2 punch, but if you peek that corner, you're going to run into the AWP first. And if you try and run him down or try and you can sort of chase him in, then there's going to be the M4 there to follow it up. So I like that. Get right and Draken over there.
This is about to get awkward for Get Right, though. He's got that incendiary. Manages to put it out. They don't care. They're going to run right through, and he will win. No, he loses the duel versus Kale, but Kale has the bomb. Now they're committed MVP, but they will get the sandwich working. Draken is down.
A bit of confusion. Long range with the auto shotty. Still shutting down Rinda. That's horrendous now. HSK, a lot of trouble for him, even if Exist is low. There's a lot of work to be done to come out on top of this round. Gonna walk in the flashbang. Landing a bit behind him. He gets the kill on Exist. Gonna swap out. Oh, there is one of the AK, yeah.
Don't forget your pistol. He threw the pistol first. He's like, wait. Gotta go back and get it. I mean, problem is, yeah, he's boxed. Forrest is already in T-spawn, so there's nowhere out. He has to go forward onto the A site now. And now he has no idea where Freiburg is playing from.
Freiburg's gonna see him. That's confirmation. Can easily call it in. Doesn't even need the help of Forrest. It will be a 14th round here, so MVP. Couldn't really get any worse. Pick up that one round, no bomb plant in the following one, and you don't win it either. So, yeah, NIP very much in control. I mean, the difference in level here from the first to the second half for the Korean side is really massive. They were doing a pretty good job. I think, what, 7 rounds in the first half, and then now they're just disappearing entirely. They've got nothing left.
It's yeah, it's like the struggle, really, because they don't have the experience. And there we go, the tactical pause. And now we have to see. It worked for Nip in the first half. So, I mean, our MVP capable of taking that timeout, that 30-second timeout, discussing it, breathing a little bit, right, to figure out what they need to do. I mean, HSK, you guys can see, it's like definitely showing up here for MVP.
Yeah. But after that, if you compare every other player, then it's just NIP doing a bit too much at the moment.
They're kind of dropping off. It just looked so promising at the beginning of the first half from MVP. I mean, maybe getting a little ahead of myself, but I was definitely getting excited.
No, I mean, especially because you would expect that NIP, and if we had only been if they'd been starting on the other side, then maybe we would just be laughing and say, well, finally NIP are doing something right, you know. The first half for NIP definitely wasn't very encouraging, but they've managed to stay cool and calm, and now I don't see what MVP could do. They just, I don't think they have the confidence any longer to go and fight NIP, and that is something that they definitely had in the first half. You saw them try and do it. They were actively looking for them. Now they're on the T side where you should have even more success doing that, and yet they're not doing it.
Now they're playing very slow CS, very patient.
Yeah, and my fear is timid TS, which is the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, this is. I mean, we have the nades getting thrown over towards the A side. It looks like bit of a distraction getting formed over there. In the meantime, they're going to rotate back over towards B. And are we going to see the rotation coming out from Forrest back into Connector? Yes, they're starting to figure this out. NIP, there's the peek from Draken. Misses the shot, but he stays alive. That's the important bit.
Oh, it takes a bit of time. Freiburg there with the auto shotty. And actually, Molotov kill and AWP, a triple kill for Draken. Just lining them all up. And now Rinda trapped in the corner and Get Right. A bit of a crazy spray coming in from behind, but it will be a 15th round. Threat even, I think, handing out some fist bumps there and just saying, yeah.
That was such like
Good
a
jobs.
happy fist bump, too.
Good
Did
job,
you see that
son.
smile?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so proud of you. So proud. I mean, I wonder if that, like, I wish we could get the replay of that shot from Draken, because I wonder if that was a collateral or not, for him to get the follow-up Molotov kill.
It could have been. Yeah, you're right. It could have been the instant tick down.
Yeah. This is this kind of seals the deal here. It's going to be the force buy with pistols and Kevlar for MVP. They put up a fight. Definitely fought bravely. but it's just not enough versus one of the Swedish powerhouses present at this tournament, NIP on match point. They have plenty of them. And now it's just a matter of patience here from NIP. Just reel them in.
Forrest deciding he's not going to want to fight up on that plateau. Now, I think it's as good a time as any, basically, for them to push. But over on the other side, look at how far up he's pushed with the AWP Drake. And he's got a pretty good idea that there's nobody here except for Kale, who's looking the wrong way for a moment. Pistol's out instead, so a bit scary. But the rest of MVP, if they were thinking about going, actually, they just put out the smoke, so they sort of have to. They've thrown out all the grenades. They might as well go for it.
Are they going for the split again? They get the kill, but then they trade. Team kill comes through. Rinda catches Get right midair. But Draken is there to hold the line over at the A site. Finds the kill on Kale with that AWP, and he's still got the line on Zyne as well. This is just a matter of time. He knows that his back is exposed.
Yeah, he's got a bit of coverage. A grenade comes in. Zyne trying to make a jump around the corner. Draken not going to get the kill. And now the bomb has been planted as well. Forrest, last one left. Maybe MVP could survive a bit longer. It looks like Forrest going to try and reposition, take the fight with Zyne, but won't work out this time. That was very interesting and very odd. I kind of understand why Draken want to put out the pistol, just because if you miss a shot with the AWP, you feel so bad about it, but that spun out of control quickly.
That felt like what they wanted to achieve in the pistol round, right? Where they wrap back around through connector, try and get towards A, catch a rotator on A. You know, that sort of game plan there for MVP. And it feels like it actually worked for them this time because NIP didn't know what the hell was coming at him. I mean, Draken is calling, you know, I don't see any, I see one player over here holding outside. Clearly, NIP are not expecting it to be some full execute onto the A site. Still, MVP showing that they've still got some fight in them. That's going to be the force here from NIP.
They have the money for it, certainly. Freiburg seems to fairly consistently trade with this auto shotgun, which has got to be annoying for them. Not this time, though. Argency will take him down.
Why'd you have to curse him, Anders?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking that.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Freiburg.
It's still a man advantage for MVP, and they have every tool here at their disposal to get control of this B site. Only issue, there are 3 players here on this side of the map for NIP.
Yeah, they almost have to take this risk, NIP. No point in putting 2 on A and 2 on B, and just that's almost never going to work. Argency, timing not working out for him. If he could have made his way out, that would have been so much easier for his team now. Exist comes in with a double spray. Great play from him. A Zyne actually taking 2 in return somehow. And that weirdly leaves us in a 2-on-2. Can they find in the corner? Forrest, they're not checking it. He's inside the smoke, and Rinda's got no idea. This could be the winning move. Forrest sees both. He's going to spray. One goes for the follow-up, and that's it. Forrest to clutch it, and a 16-9 victory here in favor of NIP. It's very well done after what looked like a bit of a sketchy start.
What a way to lose it as well. Forrest is lurking in the smoke that entire time. They're thinking, we've got this, guys. We got it. We did it. Fighting back. No, Forrest ain't having none of that.
You could almost tell that Forrest wasn't quite sure. Am I going to wait for my teammate to show up, or do I just sort of end it now? But made it work regardless. So I would say a disturbing first half for NIP, but and a good first half for MVP. But after that, there was no doubt that NIP were the better team.
Yeah, once they got on, basically once they figured things out after that timeout, it really just turned into the NIP show. Which, you know, for the Swedes out there, definitely a good thing. Well, I mean, NIP are kind of universally liked, so fans everywhere. So they'll be happy to see that they are surviving, and it's not really going too well for MVP. But I mean, it's just tough. You're coming into this tournament, and if you're MVP, you're Tyloo, right? UIA, you know, nobody's really expecting you to go far, to do damage. But I feel like we've had a pleasant surprise so far this tournament. I mean, yes, there have been some frustrating losses. Arguably, Tyloo should be 2-0, but.
No, I mean, you're right. In terms of bringing sort of, you know, experience back to your own peninsula, that's really going to help out a lot, right? You get players that suddenly know how to play at an international level, and that really makes a big difference. So we are going to get the full breakdown, obviously. So on the desk, we've got Alex and the guys ready. Please take it away.
Anders and Semler once again getting a bit of a treat that they didn't quite anticipate. Not the first time, but we did get to see a little bit of something special from MVP. At least, I mean, it's never going to be the win. At least that wasn't what that was the picture my desk posted. Of course, Moses and YNK joining me, but we do once again get a little glimmer into Asian CS:GO and making NIP, certainly in the first half, sweat somewhat. Yenko. Get Right struggling to get 10 frags. We're seeing 23 from HSK, especially in that first half. He was getting the better of the majority of them.
Yeah, especially for the first part of the half, right? He had a lot of action coming his way towards that B bomb site, and you have to remember MVP also lost both pistols, so they have to, like, in the first half they managed to string five rounds together after losing pistol on the city side of Cobble. That's not an easy task, and we saw good rounds from them in both halves, but unfortunately you also saw the flaws of them not being able to adjust as a team and also individually. I think a good example was the second pistol round where they were in a 5v4. They wanted to fake B, right, which is okay, and Forrest was aggressive on the B platform, so they like throw a smoke and 2 flashes, but they didn't chase him away and just started going back. So Forrest had all the info that it was a fake. They all went down drop, and that's where the remaining 3 players of NIP just kinda waited for them and shut them down completely, which is unfortunate because with a second pistol round, maybe they get some momentum going and make it even closer, but this way, in the end, it ended up being a comfortable win for NIP.
Do you think that is just inexperience talking, Yenko? You know, like kind of second-guessing yourself? Because had they committed towards that B site there, that was almost guaranteed a win.
I mean, they couldn't know that Forrest was alone. I just think it's the lack of realization that you cannot just try and fake like that when the player is in that specific position. You need to understand that he's just going to give info to his teammates that it's a fake, and then, you know, even though they're in a disadvantage in numbers, they can rotate properly and still shut you down. Right. So that's something that you need to be able to do on the fly, which is easier said than done, and that's something the Asian teams lack.
It's also one of the examples where you can know all the right things to do. You can know, you know, yes, they're just saying we're going to throw this fake and we're going to go back towards A, but you need to understand also the reasoning behind it. And this is like the learning process of the Asian teams from this region is going to be, you know, if you're going to throw off this fake, the reason you want to do this is deny information, make NIP think you're going B. So in order to deny that, you need to push that player back. So yes, you do the right thing, you run the fake, this is all a good tactic, but if you don't actually, you can't just go through the motions of throwing a fake and expect to pull these teams away. But I mean, overall, even that first half, even without the pistol rounds, that could have been a much better half. We saw the highlight of Forrest winning a 1-on-3 clutch there. If that doesn't happen, that was at 5-4 when MVP's up 1 round. If that doesn't happen, it's NIP who's broken the next round, and it's you know, MVP get with a good chance to get up towards 7-4, 8-4, and then all of a sudden you have a different game on your hands.
It could have been spectacular for MVP. Playing a lot better in general, though. I think there's going to be some positive vibes from them as they have admittedly conceded 2 losses back-to-back here in the tournament. They'll be in the 0-2 bracket. NIP managing to level things up, going 1 apiece. These are your map's worst best players. Map's worst players. Worst best players. The oxymoron players, guys. Yeah, you like that? Either way, you can see Get Right not having the greatest of games, and this was a discussion we had when talking about NIP a little earlier on in the tournament, where it has been the rise and fall of Get Right alongside NIP. Someone who had spectacular and, well, rises and falls.
I mean, to be fair, perhaps Get Right is that type of a player who doesn't really get motivated when he plays a much weaker team. I said that after that game versus Vegas Squadron at the major qualifier, but still I wouldn't put them in the same basket. One thing that stands out as well is Kale continues to struggle immensely in this tournament. I mean, with him being young and all of that, but still just having, I think it was 6 or 8 kills, you can see that he's very nervous in game, just in the way he moves, in the way he makes some of his decisions. But on the other hand, HSK had a great game.
Yeah.
And it's good to see as well, because I mean, this was one of the maps where, you know, online leading up to this event, it did look like, you know, this was a map particularly that he struggled on with this kind of a play style, with the things he wanted to do, especially on the CT side. We're putting together a good performance here. And yeah, I think the conclusion that we would have with MVP is just, you know, I don't think this tournament, obviously no one expects them to do anything, they don't expect them to get out of groups, but it's just see what they're working with and see where they can build, and I think they're going to have plenty of good and bad to review when they get back from this event. Rambo, as the coach, I think has this team in a path where they can improve. I think he's doing a very good job with them.
And just kind of closing thoughts before we do take our break regarding that and the Rambo discussion in particular. Do you think this is something we're going to see more of, Jason? You know, we have someone who's played at the highest level of Counter-Strike, admittedly a while ago, North American, going over to Asia and communicating with them, or do you think it's just a unique scenario because of his capability to speak Korean?
That probably helps, and obviously also from his time, back then playing in some of the tournaments that were taking place in Korea and China at the time, obviously developed a lot of relationships with people involved in that scene. So that's a big thing. I don't think we'll frequently see anyone go back at least this deep in Counter-Strike history to grab someone like Rambo. But I will say one thing that's very impressive, and this is not an easy thing to do, is Rambo has never played CS:GO on a professional level. He was one of the more intelligent, like tactically players from back, in 1.6 coming out of the North American region. One of the players who understood the game perhaps the best, up there with the best of them. So I mean, it's good to see him able to do that, but it can't be easy as someone who hasn't actually competed against other pros in a game that now has Molotovs, where the smoke mechanics are a little bit different, flashbang mechanics are a little bit different, SMGs, pistols are stronger. That takes. Not only does he have to teach them, but he also has to learn to a certain degree himself.
I mean, it also poses the question, does it limit his ability, and to what extent? I think it certainly does, but I also think that the array of things that he can bring to the team is still like great enough so that it's worth for a team like MVP to bring him in. The things like communication, mid-round decision making, all of that stuff that they lack, he can certainly help them a lot.
It limits his ability as a coach to when he gets to a certain point, right? But at the moment, the far more limiting factors for this team is going to be their experience, their own game sense that they have to gain, the individual skill that's over in the Asian region as well. So at the moment, I think Rambo as a coach is a net gain for the MVP squad.
And I mean, it's a project he'll be
plus
working
EV
on.
play, you may say.
As DDK would point out, plus EV plays.
Shout out to Dan.
No idea what you're saying.
What the hell is going on, Dan?
These are our standings currently, though. You can see there are 3 teams currently holding that 2-0, and one more game to go in that particular bracket. That vein is going to be insane. SKVP is our last game of the day. It is indeed the crescendo to our Day 2 orchestra. It is going to be loud, and we'll see who will be proud at the end of it.
Look at that, Jason.
Yeah.
NA and Asia, 0-2.
What's that?
Only an NA team is 0-2 next to the Asian teams.
There's no NA. Is there an NA team 0-2?
Say, sorry?
What? Are you counting that? We can't just count Brazilian teams as North American teams when they're doing bad. That's not how it works.
Immortals are in
You can
trouble.
only count them when they do good, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
With all of that said and done, there is just one more game to go, and it is going to be none other than SK versus Virtus.Pro. One map of Counter-Strike to go for our second day here for the I-League Season 3 Finals, and you better be here for it. It's going to be SK Virtus.Pro coming up after the break.
Better.
Booyah! Online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CS:GO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2, make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CS:GO, guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quest for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Yeah. Jackson.
Feel good, I'll be okay. I can dream the rest away. It's just a little touch of fate, it'll be okay. It sure takes its precious time, but it's got rights and so have I. I turn my head to the sky, focus one thought at a time. I do not let the little things under my tongue, but got rights and so have I. Oh, I know why you're chasing all the headlights. Oh, 'cause you're always trying to get ahead of life. Baby, when you go, you know I'll be waiting on the other side. And I know it's cold, but if you stay, then I could keep you warm at night. Don't be a fool for the city nights. I know it's cool, but it's only light. Baby, with you, I can never lie. Don't go chasing all the headlights. Oh, I can feel the beating of your heartache drum. Oh, don't know if I'm dreaming or if you have come. Every time you go, hits me like a bullet from a golden gun. Yeah, I know it's cold, but if you stay, then I could give you all my love. Oh, and don't be a fool for the city nights. I know it's cool, but it's only light. Baby, with you, I can never lie. So don't go chasing all the headlights.
Obviously won tournament this year already. SK come close a few times. And the key thing about this matchup is this has been one of the most frequent matchups for the last 2 years, basically since SK's core roster ever got good. The difference is early on, SK always got the better of it. And actually it's been a good few, maybe 9 months now where VP just somehow always gets the better end of it. And so SK got to stop that today if they want to keep progressing on.
Try and break the trend, buck the trend before the big tournaments and those
Buck
playoffs.
the trend.
Buck the trend it's a good word, buck. I
It
like
is.
it. You can say it whenever you want on air as well.
Yeah, buck, just a word for
Buck,
a dollar.
yeah, exactly.
Buck 'em.
Buck 'em. Yanko,
Yes.
you ever played Buckaroo, or is that just a game in England? It's a good game.
I game down south as well, like down under in Australia, Buckaroo.
They do?
Give it a go when you go to Australia.
I'll give it a whack if I go to Australia. Yanko, what have you
It
got
can
for
be
me?
tricky little blights to grab hold of.
I don't know, Alex. What did you ask?
Well, Duncan was talking
yeah.
about the fact that Virtus.Pro have made quite the trend of beating SK, despite both
true.
of them being equally matched.
I mean, it was notorious. It was infamous, actually, that at the majors in Columbus and in Cologne, it was actually VP, the only team that was close to taking down first Luminosity, then the SK team, and it was both times the close game. They were actually the only team, I think, at both majors to take a map off of them for the whole major, right? So. SK would manage to beat them and then manage on to win the title. After that, after we had the fur injury and all of that stuff during the autumn-winter period, that's when VP kind of, surpassed SK in terms of form, in terms of placing even, and that's when they got revenge a couple of times. Especially when you look at the E-League major, that's when they beat them in the semis, and that was even 2 close games, 16-14 and an overtime game, and SK had Fox as a stand-in in that tournament.
So perfectly fine then. What are you implying?
They had
well,
a stand-in.
just said enough. Okay.
They had a
Thank you,
stand-in.
mate. I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of praise towards Fox and his stand-in duties.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
They just beat SK.
Yeah, exactly. So back over to you.
There we go. We'll leave it there in that particular port of call. However, there is an argument that VP haven't been challenged yet this tournament. Of course, playing MVP Phoenix. On the contrary, SK actually... Oh, screw this.
You do one Dota tournament and you're already like
MVP
boy.
I feel like there was an MVP Phoenix
so much
in
time
League.
in
Remember
Dota
who made you, Alex.
Was there an MVP Phoenix in League?
Don't go the way of Red Eye.
Am
You'll
I
be
just
over in
making
Dota
that
forever,
up?
mate.
Am I just making that up though? MVP. There was an MVP Phoenix in League as well.
Dota.
Is it not a League one? I feel like I've seen it everywhere. MVPP project is the word I'm looking for. You could just call it MVP, couldn't I?
PP's all over your mind.
I could just call it MVP and never make that mistake again.
MVP.
Yeah. Anyway, SK Phoenix as well are going to be trying to do their very best, the Brazilian side, who have, at this point in time, battled to regain what was lost. Duncan, what do you make of their chances? I mean, we're going to speak to Coldzera in a moment with his interview. I mean, he's still playing as he was when they were the world's best team, right?
Yeah. I actually have been thinking about this recently in as much as people often criticize the SK era because they actually only won like 4 tournaments during that era. One of them was during Mark Austin, so it wasn't really like a big international. So to win 3 international tournaments, that's good. But as people always say, it's only the fact it's 2 majors that make it an era and like that sort of status. But if you remember, they were very good even before they won that major. It's just they always made semis or the final, and that was their problem. Well, if you think about it, ever since the major, that's basically also what they've done. They've just gone back to that status where it's semis or the final, and if they lose, it's in really close fashion. So I think this is actually, it's a different look for their team because obviously now you've got Phelps in, Fur's back to being a star. It's not the same SK, but actually the results are very similar to when they were Luminosity and when they were on the come up, So I think listen, it's obviously always one of the biggest kind of riddles to kind of crack. How do you become the #1 team? How do you win events? There's very few teams in a year actually figure that out at this kind of scale of this kind of tournament, but they've done it once. If they can do it again, it'll be legendary, but at the moment, with all these tough teams, it's going to be really difficult, and especially going up against a rival that's beaten them so many times.
I mean, talking about what they lost, not just in terms of status, it's also about their game. I feel like with Phelps, they lost some of their game, and why was Fallen having like a slump, so to speak, and to an extent Coldzera maybe more quiet than what we're used to. I think it's because with Phelps they kind of became more individual, more loose than what they were used to. You saw the resurgence of Fur. That's because he thrives in an environment like that where he can be super aggressive and take over a game, but it's not what got SK to the best team in the world status. It was a combination of loose play but also structure, and talking to Fallen or was it in an interview, him and Coldzera both thrive in a system where they know what's going to happen in a round to an extent, where they have some sort of a plan coming into it, that they know the area of the map at least that they need to focus on, while on the contrary, when it's pure chaos, they're kind of torn apart in terms of focus, in terms of what to look, what to keep an eye on, and that's where their performance kind of drops.
So Coldzera thrives in a framework and in that structure that Fallen used to provide in summary. And now we actually get to hear from Coldzera himself. He spoke to StarLadder ahead of this game. It's going to be very interesting to hear what arguably, and to some, the world's best player has to say.
Tailu always a hard match. They play a different style, so it's hard to predict play against them. But always we play good against them and we have a victory. We don't have problems. Virtus.Pro is a hard team. We always have a close match against them. They play really well, and the game is always hard against them because they are smart and they have a true experience. They have good players. So today will be a hard match. We prefer play Mirage against them. We have a strong Mirage too. They play really good on Mirage, but I don't think it's a best map of VP, and we have a good chance to win. We don't like studying other teams, give you strats. We just like play our game and show your potential.
Cold there shedding some insight and also suggesting that they want to be playing Mirage. You immediately shut that down. That's not going to be happening.
I mean, it could. It's just that I think like I think there's a lot of other ways that this map veto can go, and it's very much slanted in VP's favor. So I think they'd certainly like to get to Mirage. They'd like to play that, but I don't know that they'll be getting the choice there.
It is, of course, the
Someone
best of
has
one.
used hairspray on Snacks.
I missed it.
Looked like a hedgehog. Admittedly,
Yali's
an
hair
incredibly
looked funny
large,
as well.
aggressive hedgehog who's surprisingly good at 1v3s.
An incredible 1v3 clutch hedgehog.
Exactly.
I like it. Indeed, Sonic could learn a thing or two. And here they are, though, the legendary names of Virtus.Pro, the longest-standing Counter-Strike global offensive roster we have seen, some playing together for over, I think it's now like 11, 12 years with Neo and Taz. Still, there he is, the aforementioned, what did you call him, the clutching hedgehog?
Yeah.
I like it. Very nice, and of course, actually regarded by some now to compete for that world's best player title. In fact, I think yesterday you dubbed him that.
Personally, I'd go with Cold Zero. I think Cold Zero's
Still?
performance.
Okay.
The thing is, it's really a debate between, like, what do you consider the best? I'd certainly say in terms of impact plays, he's right up there, because obviously he has an incredible ability in that sense. It's just, for me, Cold Zero turns up every game, pretty much. And it's kind of hard to ignore. He's like a machine, you know, whereas for me, it's more like if Snacks comes, when the VP lose, then you know.
Yeah, well, we do talk about consistency and its impact on the game that we do love, called Counter-Strike. And
Who do you have? Who do you think's the best?
It's a good question.
Cold Zero.
There we go.
Okay, so
Not
2
bad.
for Cold Zero. Well, let's hear what the Clutching Hedgehog has to say, because we spoke to Snacks as well, too, on the desk of the most discussed and potentially the world's best players. Let's check him out. The Snacks spoke to us earlier.
I think it's about confidence in the game. We were confident before the match. We know that this is like a new team in the scene. So we just played our game and we felt good versus them. I think we have a streak versus them, like 7 or 8 matches won. So I think maybe they are afraid a little bit of us because we are winning with them recently. I think our couple, we got a little bit struggles. I mean, we were the best team on that map, so I think a lot of like people watches our demos and learn a little bit of our game and also adapt to us and adapt their game versus us. So we just need to make changes and everything will be good.
Suggesting perhaps SK are fearing the result after consistent wins for the Polish side. Snacks implying that they maybe have instilled some form of fear in the Brazilians.
I mean, it certainly seems like it. Apparently also, the crash course at Papa's London Academy is fantastic. I mean, see how fast this English has progressed. So it's interesting here that actually we got the cash ban as standard, because I actually think you could definitely float that against SK Gaming. I'm not scared of playing them on that map. Standard ban, I think, to take away Nuke, just because SK bans it anyway. They've never got to grips with that map, but Virtus.Pro is unbelievably good on that map. They just don't lose to anyone. Virtus.Pro's taking an overpass, not that big a shock in terms of, obviously, we've seen them lose it a bunch of times to Astralis. I think in general, they're just not that comfortable on it. SK has only more recently kind of got back into that map itself. I think actually SK themselves probably have to consider taking out Inferno at some point in time. I think that's a dangerous map to leave in, so they go ahead with that. But if we look at what's left, so there's Cobblestone left. SK actually does like that. VP's very good on it, though. We've got Mirage, obviously. So actually, VP themselves going to ban Cobblestone. I mean, last time I saw them lose, that was only the game against Gambit, and that's Gambit, you know. So that's interesting, because it seems like they're trying to force them to pick either Mirage or what's the last one left? Train. And here's the thing, that even when... So SK banning Train here, actually, I think makes some sense, because even though when VP took over winning the rivalry, they used to be getting smashed on Train. That is very much a thing of the past. I think everyone is scared of VP on Train now. They've seen what happens to Astralis when they go up against them. So Mirage, I think, actually is pretty in the middle for both, actually. I feel like both are going to like this map.
I agree, but I'm still a bit surprised that SK didn't go for Train. Maybe it's because they just didn't have enough time to play it with Phelps. Because if you remember, in Moscow at Epicenter, SK beat them 16-1 on Train. And just SK was like considered the best team in the world on Train. They had something like
18, I think.
18 in a row land wins on the map. Then it was VP, and then it was Astralis. Like you consider those 3 teams, and Navi probably the 4th, the best teams in the world on the map.
But as you see, I mean, they did beat them in that semi-final. Admittedly, a different player.
And in Vegas, which was also more recent.
Indeed.
So maybe those results, the latest results, were what kind of pushed SK to go for Mirage instead.
And of course, we're returning to Cold Zero's interview, where he did state, we really want to play them on Mirage, and it seems like SK got on their wish list. They got the map they requested. And I'm going to be intrigued to see how this plays out.
I'm interested to see whether SK finds the right balance here between like having structure and having some like set strats and you know, a game plan from the start of the round, and allowing Phelps room to do his own thing around like window, you know, towards that mid area of the map as T, because he's actually very good at it. He keeps finding good timings again and again, finds himself in good positions, so no reason to not let him do that.
And you can see the odds as well, provided by one of our core sponsors here at Star Ladder. It's EGP, and going to be just giving SK the edge.
SK, yeah.
Does that sound about right? I guess.
I wouldn't say so. No? I think VP's the slight favourite, if anything. I mean, SK. Here's the thing: SK has looked good on this map recently. They've definitely improved it from where it was late last year. But I actually agree with Yanko. Like, I think their T side's a bit disjointed. It looks like Phelps. It's actually kind of on the cliche now. They just put him in the window room all day long. Cold Zero just comes in at the end. Fur goes in aggressively, like near the connector room. Like they just kind of play off those 3 stars. And listen, that can get you wins against the North or someone like that, the lesser tier teams. But VP's so tough on both sides of this map.
Well, it is time. It is indeed a star-studded server for our last game of the day. SK, 3 events in a row, unable to buck the trend. A VP taking the win, and we've got some stars of our own on the casting desk as we kick this one off with Anderson Semler.
You're much too kind, Alex. Appreciate that. We are getting ready with the game here. Virtus.Pro and SK on Mirage for best of 1. You ready, Semler?
Perfect. I've been waiting for this all day, and I'm so happy that it winds up on Mirage as well, because watching SK yesterday on Mirage, we casted that game. Definitely looked a bit shaky. And
it did.
For some of the reasons that they mentioned on the desk, but also just it felt like they were trying to go default every round. It felt like they were struggling a little bit facing with a team that they didn't know, but also just felt like, yeah, they were a little shaky. So for them to be like, we want to play VP on Mirage, sitting here, I'm like, okay, have you got something up your sleeve here that we didn't see yesterday?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, the main point that we were talking about in that game was that Phelps was very active, all over the place, really trying to be aggressive, right?
Yeah.
But Fur, who's normally the guy playing that role, was not doing anything at all. I think he got like 3 kills in the whole first half when they were playing on the CT side, and it was miserable. And that can't happen, right? So how can they? Maybe that is a simple fix. Maybe that's, you know, a conversation you can have where you say, okay, well, let's make a more basic plan for who does what, and then it's solved, you know.
I don't know. I've just got this weird feeling that they were sandbagging us yesterday, man. I just got this feeling because they ran that smoke execute on A towards the end when it was starting to get a bit close, and they just ran this smoke execute on A, and it was just perfect on wheels. And I was like, wait a second. Like, so you've been playing default every round, but then you run an execute and you just blow through them like they aren't even there. What's going on here? Did you have to show us something that you wanted to hold on to? I don't know.
I mean, the other thing, and I think we say this all the time, is that it really doesn't make any sense to compare sort of day-to-day results when you're talking about a group stage like this. So SK could be, you know, twice as good as they were yesterday, just out of the blue. So that's just a cautionary tale for anyone who's watching the game, especially anyone who's betting on it or anything like that. Try not to take sort of one day and just assume it's going to be the same, because it won't be. Virtus.Pro and SK starting. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This should be a very interesting game. It could well sort of be a bit of, again, a vector for the rest of the tournament. Which of these two teams is going to be the better one, and how is it all going to play out? Look at the top mid push that's coming in here from Taz. Oh, my God, he knows so much about what's happening. They should rotate in. They see the grenades, and they know that there's nobody top mid, but they're being very slow right now on the Virtus.Pro side. Instead, it's SK taking over the A-bomb side and even pushing all the way into the window room while the bomb is going down. My God, these are great after-plant positions.
Yeah, and there, you know, if you're going to try and push through that smoke, you're going to get completely blindsided. Phelps is there to pick up the kill on Neo, who sacked himself to try and figure something out. Fur catches Pasha at the murder hole, and this is just completely falling apart here for Virtus.Pro unless we can have some heroics from Snacks. He's already delivered 1 headshot. Cold going to get spotted in pit, but he wipes out Taz. And a 4-on-2 retake scenario here for Virtus.Pro, where almost it's like just try and save your Kevlar.
Snacks certainly looking for the kill here on Fur, but it just takes too long, and now the alley out in the open. It's 1 headshot. Mad flicking all over the place. Instead, it's Fur picking up the triple. And honestly, that is a round that you can look at for a long time.
Dude, he wasn't even that far off of both of those
No,
flicks.
it wasn't.
There's a moment where my mind froze where I was like, did he actually just do it? Like, that would have been one of, I think, the most insane. Like, Hiko would have had to, like, take his hat off and bow.
So that's it. No, but that was beautiful. The bomb plant position, the push, the smoke that's up in connector, so they could even put the bomb down in that position without getting shot from you know, B catwalk. And then the double push into window room. It's everything about that was just incredibly sexy. So let's see more of that from SK, and that could be very interesting. And now Virtus.Pro with a scout on Snacks. Okay then.
Scout on Snacks playing CT. Not going to look too much into positioning just yet. Fur wanting to create some space on short. And so Fur mid-control now here for SK Gaming. They do have Taco waiting all the way back in T-spawn to make sure that there's no aggressive push coming out from VP. Trying to get that info. And there it is. Snack spots a man. Misses the shot. Fur is now safely up into connector.
Be very careful. That looks so close, but misses by just a pixel. He knows where they are, and they are making their way all the way into window room. So a lot of map control has been lost here on the Polish side. First still ready, in case anyone is going to try and show themselves, but Virtus.Pro are just falling back. They really, really want them to commit to a bomb site here.
I wish that they would group up here, SK, at this point, because they're having to worry so much about the man in jungle right now, VP, that's taking attention away from other parts of the map, potentially. Bialy is focused on Pit, so they have that working for him, but both Taz, Snacks, and Neo have to worry about this man here in jungle. Although that was on ladder room. Cold is going to find the kill on Pasha, pushing short. Phelps takes down Bialy, and this is opening up this A site here for SK Gaming to strike.
Yes, it is, even if they're low on health. Still a 5-on-3 here. Another headshot comes in, and Fallen now down to 20 as well, but no kills actually happening, and they're not, well, they're only going to lose Fallen in that scenario. That's almost unreal. I mean, especially when you have a scout in play, when 3 of your players are on 20 health, that's when you start to think, oh no, this could turn around pretty quick, but good job on SK.
That Scout-Deagle combination, man. You've spoken about it a lot in the past, how powerful it is. You do so much damage with either one, where it's just 2 bullets, combination of either one, boom, you're going to get a kill out of it. But SK Gaming, very clean. Then Neo managed to get the parting shot there, actually pick up a kill, but so far it's been going very smoothly here for SK Gaming at the beginning of this half. And so it's a hard eco for Virtus.Pro, trying to save as much money as possible for the 4th round bye. Once again, SK Gaming really focusing on that mid-control.
Yeah, and good grenade pattern to make sure they keep the mid-control as well. You see how they get the forward smoke in, they get the Molotov to connector, they get the window smoke after. It's all really well sequenced here for the SK side, and as a result, Virtus.Pro can't really do anything. They have to give up the mid-control at that point in time. Even running into the window, there's Phelps again. Hyper-aggression coming out from him, and a quad kill.
Quad kill, so much money. Look at that. He's starting this round with like 9,000 in the bank. That's a good feeling. Warm and fuzzy right there. And I like how the license plate is just America. Is it? Yeah, it's just America. It's not even a state. It's not exactly how it works, guys. Like, you know, California, right? New York.
Listen, Semler, that's only true a little while longer until the globalists take over. You have to stay woke, my friend. I can't help myself.
I was setting you up there. And you
gotta be so careful with the memes, Semler. You gotta be so careful. It's oh god, it's the 4th round that's coming in, and we'll see if Virtus.Pro can do anything now that they've got the AWP on Snacks and just a little bit all over. That's not a surprise any longer. There definitely was a point where you'd be like, wow, why is it Snacks? Why is it not Pasha or someone else? But especially on this map, it just seems like almost everyone can pick up the orb on this one. So not going to be surprised at all. Shot through the side of the wall there, and actually going to try and see if he can hunt it down. Very aggressive on Taz, and that might have been a mistake. Now he's isolated. Will try and make his way back, finds a headshot on Fur, and I'm surprised that he's still sticking around.
That was a super clean shot on Fur. Well played there, Taz. Neo trying to support him as well, and this brings it back to a 4-on-4, but as I say it, Phelps finds the kill. Eventually, Taz is dead. And Taco will find Snacks. That's over in jungle. Taco in his usual spot up in Palace. It actually works, and SK Gaming, they just pick apart the VP defense 1 kill at a time. Neo rotating over from B will find the kill on Phelps, but it's so little to work with here. Ooh, I love this. Look at this. A bomb timer graphic?
Yeah.
How sick is that? I love it.
No, they're pulling out all the stops, Star Ladder. I think they've done a great job on the production up until this point. So and now I'm really anticipating what's going to happen when we get into that arena. Great round from the Brazilian side. Neo even trying to sneak away with that AWP, and they denied that. So things are looking better now for the SK side. And I mean, they're so good at getting that mid control. Even though Virtus.Pro tried to contest it, they really did, but it wasn't enough.
We saw a lot of this yesterday from them as well, SK. And so it seems like they're refining it. That short smoke goes down, allowing them to get to top mid. It's just one step after another. Then the window smoke goes down, allowing them to push up the Del Pound, start pressuring short. One step after another, SK Gaming getting that mid control, but it looks like VP want to set up a bit of a reception for him. This could get hairy on short. Goes down, allowing them to push up the Del Pound.
Phelps, really good stuff. He loves this window. There have been some games where it's like 10 out of 10 rounds, Phelps is just in the window. And even to the point where I would say, is it becoming too predictable? You know, when is someone going to find a good way to counter it? But he really does have a high level of intuition for playing that position. It seems like he's just always got really good timing for it. So not bad at all, though. Neo at least got a kill there, and Pasha also took a one. So they've done some damage here.
He's got this AK to work with. You can find that headshot angle. This could be big, but they're going to play it safe. Fallen has got Taco to watch his back. There's the shot from Neo, and he's not going to get it. No Kevlar means no spray fight for him. And so 5-0, SK Gaming, a terrific lead here. Great start at the beginning of this half on their T side. And VP still trying to figure out what it is that they need to change up here to be a bit more effective. And so Snacks once again with the AWP. He has Kevlar this time, so he'll be a little bit more resilient. And they have full nades. So this is where we can see VP start to get a little clever, perhaps.
Maybe a little bit aggressive, too. Because they haven't been doing that very much. There's been no A-ramp setups, no apartments pushes, no nothing like that. And still playing it pretty default at the moment. Another grenade rains in. It's not that much damage to Fur. I mean, they did a bit, but could have been worse.
Taco and Bialy. It's just Taco. This is his spot. It's like Monster on Overpass. Just up in Palace, waiting. But I do like that combination play over on B, where you get that HE in there, and then Neo spray wall bangs in to the apartments. We've seen that happen before with VP. They've gotten kills before with it as well. So just throwing it out there. See if they can find that opening frag here. VP get something to start going their way.
Past the minute mark in a much slower round out of SK. I think they were expecting that VP would be aggressive in this round. You see them holding top mid, up in apartments. They really were thinking that this is going to be a round like that out of VP, but it wasn't. So now they've wasted a lot of their own time. They still have grenades, but so do VP, and that's a good headshot starting off, taking down Neo. Fur in charge of that. Taz, did he get the right timing? Finally going to be able to take down Phelps, who does not win the battle for window this time, but Fur going to come in and clean up right after Bialy going down, and now Snacks, can he hold on? He's the only one here, but there's only 25 seconds. If he can stop the bomb from going down, there could be a miracle still happening. It's going to be behind the box, and Snacks can't find the right angle, so now almost no chance, and you've got to wonder if he should even save it here. Cole has got him isolated. Can he get out from behind the box? Not alive, at least.
It's just everything is working for SK. The setup there on A site means that Taz has nobody to say that they push connector, that they're up into jungle behind him. So he gets flanked and killed for free. Bialy getting caught in shadow. I mean, right now, yeah, you can see a bit of a sigh there from Pasha. Because it just seems like SK are one step ahead every time, right? They've always seems to have the edge, and they just keep it up. The pressure is just keeps mounting on VP in these rounds. Snacks completely ineffective back there in CT with the op as well. So it's more a question of like, okay, Snacks, do you want to start pushing B apartments? Do you want to start trying to take a fight elsewhere? Because so far the hold from CT is just not working.
No, it hasn't done that much for them, you're right. This time they are trying for the aggression, but SK already last round were ready for this play, and it seems like they're ready again. That's got to be annoying if you're on the VP side. You were hoping that they would try and contest that. Phelps going to be taking out Pasha over by the B bomb side, and now Cold, is he finally going to make his way out? The timing is really good for Virtus.Pro. They also had a guy in window who could have come in to help. That was Snacks. He could have been there in case there was a longer fight. And now instead it's a 4-on-4. Bomb still at top mid.
He was taking a lot of damage though. He's low. Fallen just wasn't. He was expecting VP to continue to push. Just wasn't there to trade with Cold. So there's a chance here, but Taco's still up in Palace. A minute left on this clock. Still a whole lot of utility left for SK Gaming to work with, whereas VP, they're out of nades already. They've got a single smoke grenade left here on Snacks to buy time with. Where is Snacks playing from right now? Over at B Apartments. Okay, his old stomping grounds. They haven't really hit B yet, SK Gaming, so this could be an option for him.
That way to the patience right now on Fallen. He's just, you know, down to 38 seconds and he's still holding back his troops, saying, just give them a second. Let's see if they aren't going to make a mistake. Doesn't seem like Virtus.Pro are, and instead you can tell now the Brazilians are starting to walk towards the B-bomb side in through Catwalk. 2 people are holding here with very limited equipment. It's not going to be an easy hold at all. Maybe Taz with the M4 is going to be the one to make the difference. 20 seconds, and now finally they show themselves. Snacks, UMP up in the apartments. Can he win the fight against Phelps? No, he's going to get shot right in the face, and Taz goes down. No chance at all. SK Gaming rolling over Virtus.Pro right now. Who would have thought?
That's incredible. It's so scary when you do that as well, because when you leave 20 seconds left, you may have utility, but you're actually eliminating the chance to even use that utility because you can't be caught with a nade in your hand if somebody's going to peek you, but you have to get into the site. And so really it worked again perfectly for SK Gaming. No chance to use their nades, but they were able to challenge VP on both fronts and win. Now it leaves Neo and Bialy saving, and that's just about it. Where is, well, Phelps might be able to run into Neo here in Palace. It looks like he's got that in mind already. I really do love that bomb timer. That is sick.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? You gotta, yeah, I almost wish that it would. I mean, you gotta wonder if it takes away from like the excitement of the moment. But still, it's still gonna be hard to time in your mind, isn't it? When someone clicks it, like you have to keep an eye on the timer to know exactly when. So
it's true. If you're cutting it close down to like the millisecond timing, you know, the millisecond diffuses. Yeah, I think it could still be hype.
Oh man, Virtus.Pro. Not the start that they were looking for. You can definitely tell that they are sort of, you know, just trying to get it together, and the tactical timeout probably right about now is a good time for it. This game is not lost, strange as it seems, but now they need to pick up like 6 rounds on the first half. If they can get there, then things can sort of work.
Trying to run through what we've seen so far from VP. They've tried to go back to old strats with Taz, like the triple push up to top mid. They were eating HEs before they even got there, right? Like, this has got to be so discouraging for VP because every strat that they're trying to run here to set up their defense, it feels like SK are just countering them at every turn.
Yeah, and it's really well played. It's a good call coming out of SK because they had the first sort of 4 rounds where they played very aggressive and very sort of much faster, especially with the mid control. They were much quicker SK. Now, those were the rounds where Virtus.Pro would have loved it if they had chosen to be aggressive, because then they could have gone and sort of taken that fight top mid and maybe surprised them. But after that, SK said, look, we're just going to wait the first, I don't know, like even a minute. We're just going to wait and see if you're not going to do anything. And then that shuts down any chance for Virtus.Pro to pull out the aggression card, you know? Now that doesn't make any sense any longer.
Curious if they were going to go for a push at pit on A site, VP, but again, paired up, taking a lot of damage on Neo, but Pasha, he'll find Phelps. That was in ladder room.
Oh. Snacks with a kill on Fur. Suddenly it gets interesting. Pasha gets one with the AK. And now it's Cold Zero and Taco left. It's turned around. SK in a round that should have been an easy one. It's not like this isn't the reason why Virtus.Pro paused. This isn't what the tactical timer was about. That was about the upcoming round. This round they had next to nothing, but they've managed to make it work regardless. Now they're sneaking in towards the middle again, towards that B-bomb side. And actually, if somehow the connector player looks away for just a moment, this could work out. But Taz realizes now they've got to move pretty quick here.
Unbelievable. Taco living on 2 HP. Taz is beside himself. And Neo, he's only got 7, but he's over towards B apartments. It looks like it's going to be action A here in a moment. And Bialy, does he have any idea? I think he made some footsteps, and Cold Zera knows that he's in connector. He's going to get shot in the back here in a moment. Oh, the timing, it doesn't work. 16 seconds left. You got to get that bomb down.
Yeah, now is he going to be able to cover? Bialy has no idea. Cold, you're right. He heard it. Triple kill for him. And now look at this. Neo, 7 health, miles away. The bomb is going to be going down, and they even have grenades. Taco can just not even peek with the Molotov in hand and just wait.
Yeah, there's not a chance here. Now it's all a game of, can Neo find a gun anywhere and put that to use? Unfortunately for him, Cold just zeroes in, man. There's no hiding from the Terminator. That's it. He finds you in the end. And so Cold, once again, just turning up. This is all SK just doing work right now. VP, they came close. That was it's like, what's nuts is that was an eco round. That's almost like the closest they've come so far.
Yes. I mean, and if you don't even win that, it's just a bit depressing, isn't it?
Shame that Snacks decided to challenge again in mid right there. That's where really it's if you're 2-2, maybe that makes a difference, right? You have a 2-man advantage. Do you need to be challenging in mid Snacks? But then going for that impact play.
It seems like Snacks is already taking quite a bit of damage in this round. They've got the double AWP set up, so that was the call that they made in that tactical timeout. Let's try and go for that. Not, I think, a bad idea. For one thing, you can see, especially with Neo being this far out, look at how much they can gravitate towards the A side. Neo is going to have just a lot of warning before they come, but now he's pushed so far in, it actually could be a problem. He's going to smoke it off and fall back, but can he read this?
It's a shame because little does he know there was already a man through. There's the incendiary because he hears the footsteps. He's close enough, and we have the rotation coming through. Phelps trying to throw a wrench in things over here, getting that kill on Connector, and Neo with the leg shot. Come on!
How can that even be real? Phelps goes down, but Bialy is next in line, and now Snacks taking down Fur. They're still fighting on the VP side, but honestly, that leg shot is just almost too much to handle. Very frustrating for Neo, obviously. He needed that. That was the one thing that would have allowed him to defend the other part of the bomb site there, but now Snacks just going to be walking out. It's 9-0 in favor of SK Gaming. My God.
This is incredible. They are so well prepared for this match, SK. It really does feel like they're reading them like a book. What? Oh, no. Insult to injury. I don't even know, Anders. 9-0.
I mean, everyone has those days, right, Semla? Everyone who's ever played Counter-Strike can sort of nod and say, I've tried that before. But you obviously don't want to have it at this sort of top level. It's not like they're going to be risking, knocking out of the tournament or anything here. We're fighting to see who's going to be 2-0 in the group, but still, you got to wonder.
Oh, I hit you 100%. I mean, you're right. This is definitely not over. You need 3 wins to go into the playoffs, 3 losses, and you go home. Both of these teams won yesterday, so there's still a margin for error. But I mean, if you're gonna get one of your wins by taking down VP or SK, I mean that's a feel-good moment. You're gonna be feeling pretty good going into the rest of it.
Yes.
So I mean, because you can't face off against an opponent you've already played against.
Indeed. 10th round is coming up here. See what happens. Still very methodical approach for the SK side. They have no problem slow playing these rounds. They have 9 rounds worth of evidence that can work. So why change it up? Oh no. Pasha thought he was going to take a peek. Shrapnel in his eyes instead.
And sure enough, Phelps was there. Bialy long range with the CZ75. That's pretty much the worst case scenario for that pistol. And Neo not going to get any joy either in mid. Fire finds a headshot. And so double digits clean for SK. 10-0. This
is ridiculous.
Hey, this is happening to VP as well. All right. What?
Yeah, I think he got CSGO'd. I'm sorry.
No, but I guess because he was still moving when he took the shot?
Nah, not on LAN. Not on 128 tick. I think he was stopped enough, but
buddy.
I'm sure I'm sure there will be a Reddit detective or two who will study it, report their findings.
What's the finding here for this scenario?
Not a bad setup. The 2 people pushed that aggressively towards the balcony here. All the smokes are probably going to land behind them. If they win the first fight, they can shut down this round without taking almost any damage. But if they don't win it, it's going to be done. There's the grenade coming in, and Taz actually very aggressive. SK right on the other side. He needs his teammate there. Bialy's going to have to double up with him. Otherwise, it won't work out. And I bet you SK is going to check that corner.
I'm almost thinking that they're going to set up the flash to Snacks to flash him in. No, it's Taz. Bialy and Taz doubling up, but then Taz decides to go aggressive, and he gets punished by Fur. Taco hits the wallbang headshot on Bialy, who survives with 4 HP.
That was a bit too close for comfort. They're still pushing on up towards the ramp, and now Fur going to be taking down Bialy. They've lost Taco in the meantime, so Fur and Fallen, the last ones left with 50 seconds here. Still can be a winnable round. Are they going to try and boost up? In fact, they will. That's actually very clever. I kind of like that position, but Pasha seems to be ready for it. The bomb not getting planted anytime soon. Fur going to get the kill on Pasha, and now it's a 2-on-2. They got 35 seconds. Are they really going to try and exit this bomb site? If they wanted to run to B, then they needed to do it right then. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been time Fallen sneaking back in. 22 seconds on the clock and still in really good positions right now, Virtus.Pro.
Oh, and they just, the timing. This is actually unbelievable. Can he get the bomb plant, though? This is the problem. VP are covering both angles for a safe plant. And so, really, Fallen just has to stick it and hope that Fur hits a headshot on Neo if Neo goes for the peek. Sure enough, he does. And Neo with the double spray to save the day. VP, they have done it. It's not going to be the clean 16-0 for SK. They've got a round on the board. And that's going to be Fur kicking himself, to be frank, because he was prepared. He was holding that angle.
Yeah, I mean, any grenade that they would have had then would have made their lives so much easier. They just didn't really have the opportunity, and Virtus.Pro going to finally pick up a round. Let's see how much further they can push this, because at this point it's looking grim. Not much celebration going on there.
Actually, yeah, for SK, surprisingly enough, it's like, I mean, Taco, don't look so nervous, man. It's 10-1. You guys are doing pretty good.
I like the crab sprays behind the box. It's getting in there.
Now we have a double up in play here for VP, though. This could get fun. Obviously, SK have more than enough money to go for a full buy. And we got the boost looking for the man in window. Are they going to find him? Snacks. Is this your day? You feeling lucky, Punk?
It's very, very close. You almost had that one. Fallen again. Not afraid at all. Going to go for the peek and almost got shut down by Snacks. Now they know where he is. And he's trapped in the corner. They have plenty of Molotovs. There's one in for it. Snacks going to try and make the cross, and Fallen not finding the timing. Oh, that was close.
That was way too close. But also that was a little worrisome for Fallen, and that's why he unscoped. Well, never mind. Finds the kill anyway. But for a second there, he didn't have anybody there to watch short, so he couldn't just double scope in on Snacks. Had to be a little bit worried about getting peeked. Or from Snacks calling for help, basically. But two-man advantage now for SK Gaming. Man. This would be devastating for VP. You had two players survive in the last round, so you definitely don't have any money to carry on. You need to win this round, VP, if you want to have a chance at getting anywhere near 5 rounds.
But they know what Snacks is with the AWP, even though they had to give up Phelps for that information. It's still not that bad. Neo holding on the B-bomb site, but they lose Taz in the middle. Neo would have to go nuclear on this one, and he's going to get the headshot on Fallen. That's a good start. Can he get Taco as well? No, he just runs right in with the AK. And now all of the advantage in the hands of SK. Snacks 1-on-2 with the AWP. I feel like when you're this far behind, you might as well try and clutch this.
You got to go. You got to make the big plays. And the bomb only just now got planted. Snacks, he finds a kit, but no grenades to work with. So it's all about the shots here, and it's all about SK Gaming making a mistake, really. Somebody needs to step out, get greedy, give him a chance at a shot.
Their positions already tell you they're not gonna. No one is sort of going to try and take any kind of peeks. Why would they? They can just wait. So yeah, that's smart, basic, but smart play for SK Gaming.
The Terminator. Look at this. It's not going to end well for him, sadly, but he had the right idea.
He'll come back somewhere next round. My God. So the economic reset entirely for Virtus.Pro as they almost had no money anyway. 11-1 the scoreline, and I don't know. It's just one of those days, isn't it?
It really is, where nothing is clicking. I mean, it kind of feels...
We're going to get viewer complaints. We were telling everyone it was going to be an epic game, and now, this has happened.
Sometimes that's just the way it goes. I mean, you're playing against a team of SK's caliber who have clearly done their homework. VP just not finding the groove, and also it's a nightmare on Mirage in particular. Low eco, not many nades on CT side, constantly getting reset. It's just so difficult to mount a strong defense. Neo seems to be the one who's hitting shots for VP, and that's a tough scenario when you, in general, are counting on Snacks and Bialy, and even Pasha these days, to be leading the way.
Hey, he's got a scout, though. There was a time when Neo, there was like a couple of months where Neo would just hit a lot of scout headshots out of the blue, but it's Snacks instead with the saved AWP from the previous round that takes down Fallen. Not a bad way to get started. Now Cold Zero going to be crouching in. Snacks has gone down to Phelps, and the alley isolated in that corner. How could he get out? There's no chance at all, and right on the other side there is Neo with the scout. Bit uncomfortable, close range coming in. Taz will take down Phelps with the CZ 75. He's got a couple of more bullets. He hasn't reloaded yet, but he's going to pick up the AK. Not in time. Fur will be able to take him down. And Neo, oh no. He couldn't do anything. And that will be the round 1 by SK Gaming. I like that. You could even just tell that he was like...
Just tracking it like.
It's not doing anything, am I?
Well, I mean, unless it makes it around the corner, you're dead, man, Pasha. You're dead, man. And well, it's just the economy. He's as dead as the VP's economy. Look at this, 2,000 across the board. What are you gonna do with that? You're gonna go CZ, Kevlar, blah blah blah. I don't think anybody was expecting VP to get Shrek like this.
Snacks has bought a Zeus. Confirmation from the world's best player that that it actually is a legit weapon, Semler.
Maybe he's communing with Rike.
Yes. No! Why?
That's what you get, Snacks!
Why? I was so ready for that one.
You see, that's how it's done, Anders. That's how it's done. The P250. You know, you can keep your Zeus. Neo will show you the path.
It's picked up the AWP as well, so now the game is about saving that. And SK obviously just going to hunt as much as they can. There's a minute left and the bomb is still in T-spawn. Man, they don't even want to win by putting the bomb on. They want to really kill them.
This is them
it's
just
getting personal here between the two teams.
This is just grinding them down, man. Stomping on their neck with a boot heel.
Man, 13-1. And moving into the 15th round here. Finally, they're going to have a bit of money. They had none in that round. You're right, 2,000. If it was real life, it would be fine. I think the average cost of an AK is like $600, so that would have been cool, but not in Counter-Strike.
Oh, still cheaper than the CT buy, and there's the mid-pressure actually working for once. Fallen. The headshot from Taz. They don't take a single point of damage either, VP. And naturally, they're desperate. They've got their backs to the wall, and that's when they're at their most dangerous. Nothing to lose.
Yeah, they really haven't, but they should play it cool anyway. You know, now they've got the opening frag, and no reason to continue to fight, even if Phelps is low. Fur is right underneath, and oh, he's actually going to turn his back. He still turns around for the kill. That looked like it could have gone either way. Snacks getting picked off, and Pasha next in line. Bayali falls, and now Virtus.Pro. I think you can sort of tell even the basics aren't working out. Taz, is he going to go for the knife? He's ready and waiting for it, practically standing on top of the terrorist player, and Fur has no idea. Go for it, Taz.
Just jump on him.
He wants more, and he turns around. Oh, no! The biggest fail of the tournament up until this point, at least. Taz, I wish we could get the camera reaction. That's so ridiculous. Why is it happening, Samla? Why is it happening? Oh, God. He could have done anything else.
He knows it too, man.
He obviously wanted to get a second kill on someone inside the bomb site, but that's just so funny. All right, look, guys, the second half is going to be coming up any second. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
I don't even, dude.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't watched the first half, then do a quick summary. It's 14 rounds for SK and 1 for Virtus.Pro, including some hilarious moments that didn't quite go as planned for Virtus.Pro, and maybe especially for Taz. That was so funny. But now we're getting into the second half here, and I don't think anyone believes that this could be any kind of a comeback. I think Virtus.Pro they're just ready to go back to the hotel and relax a bit.
And you know, Anders, that's the thing. You got to look for the positives in life, right? You got to take a deep breath, and you got to be like, Taz, it's all good, bro. And that's what he's telling himself. It was already lost. It was already over. It's 14-1. If ever you were going to mess up, at least have it be in a situation like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. At least it wasn't like the finals of a major or anything. Phelps starting more or less where he picked off in the last half with a headshot there, taking down Pasha, and now Fallen missing quite a few shots as Phelps goes down. It's Fur to pick it up now. Next in line, Snacks. Double kill of the round for him, looking for more. Fallen actually trying to challenge, but Snacks is all over the place, looking for more kills. He's got the triple. Could even get the ace here. His teammate sacrificing himself. He's charging in. Snacks down to 40 health and 13 bullets left here. Just trying to see if he can isolate them. And now they got to be careful they don't give up this advantage.
Exactly, Snacks just needs to hang back. Neo's all the way in the back of the site as well. Bomb is planted for him. And so Taco, he's out hunting. He's looking to see, making plenty of noise. And Snacks is playing this so well. Exactly. Gets the drop on him. Lets him know that I'm miles away. You're going to have to hang around here if you want to get this kill, or Cold will just come out and find you. Can they get the kit? Is there a kit? There's the kit. Taco's got it. He's got the smoke as well, but he wasn't expecting Neo to be holding on the site.
And no chance at all here. Cold Sierra, both of them out of bullets. Knives is out while the bomb is going up. He almost looked scripted there for a moment. Just both going to accept their fate and go down with it, but
this is not...
No,
a Korean fight scene.
No, exactly. Could have been with the explosion in the background and everything. Ultimately, it's going to be VP picking up that round, and most of it due to the just excellent play coming out of Snacks there.
Yes, well, he's just saved them. I mean, definitely maybe a little bit of a gift from Fallen as well, considering the opportunities he had to get free shots there.
Yeah, he was taking his time, wasn't he?
And that was definitely a bit odd, like not able to hit that first chain of shots. So, I mean, SK Gaming have been holding, VP under the water for so long. They just let him get a breath of air right here. Question is, how cruel are SK? Are they going to let it last a little bit longer, really draw it out?
Yeah, I don't think waterboarding people is legal, Semler. I think you gotta be careful with that.
This is a video game, Anders,
It is a video game, you're right. The rules are different. Fallen will be taking down Neo. Maybe a bit of a deep breath here for Virtus.Pro. They should be winning this round. They've got to be very careful. There's Taco sitting up with a pop flash, and it's perfect. Close range with the Deagle. Takes a kill. Looking for more. It's just Taz left, and he is going to be able to get the kill, but I'm not sure it's going to last much longer. Cold Zero will take him down, and SK saying, let's end this day right now.
No. Back down you go. Back down you go. That's unreal. Unbelievable. MVP. Deep breaths, Pasta. Deep breaths. Hey, what a nightmare. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong so far in this map for Virtus.Pro. SK Gaming are just so on point.
It's almost a shame that it looks like we're not going to see more of their CT side, because that was the thing that I was really interested in, but they've done so well on their T side that they might not get to play many more rounds here. Obviously, Virtus.Pro buying whatever they can. It's a cool smoke that might end up with a bit of a gap in it, you have to assume, from Phelps' point of view. He probably can see through. You can see him actually lining it up now, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Fur going to pick up a kill on Snacks, and how much can Phelps see? He's probably looking at top mid and not so much close. Phelps,
yeah, there is his gap.
There's the gap, yeah. Not bad. And now that he's tired of waiting, just going to be jumping out of the window, in fact. The absolute madness here. It's Bialy in a 1 versus 4, and that's the end of it. 16-2 in favor of SK Gaming as they take down Virtus.Pro on Mirage here to end the day with. What a performance.
Yeah, congratulations, SK. It looked just a little scary yesterday. That definitely came into it cold, but you're right, Anders. Day to day, things can completely change. And while SK, yeah, this is just a match that VP are gonna have to shake off, forget it ever happened, and move on in the groups.
Yeah, there's nothing else to it. We've seen other top teams do this before, so I wouldn't be too worried if I was a VP fan. I'd just be thinking, yeah, whatever, they're going to be back. So, yeah, but on the other hand, it's a lot of fun now because some of those questions that we had yesterday about SK and how solid is the team and everything looked like it was much better this time around. So I'm happy to see that.
Now that means that we have what? We've got G2, Na'Vi, SK in the 2-0 bracket.
Yeah.
That's going to be like whichever combination comes out of that, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. Actually, I kind of want to see G2 play an SK like this now.
I mean, there's no bad combination, is there? That's the beauty of sort of Counter-Strike now. I mean, for those who have been around since 14-ish, where the only thing you wanted to see was like very games play NIP or something.
Yes.
That time is gone. Like there's so many good combinations now, and even some of the teams that are a bit lower on the rank can still upset the good ones. So it's interesting. It's good times.
Looking at you, Tyloo.
Yeah.
Looking at you.
I was thinking about a team like Gambit or something, but
nah.
All right, fair enough. We are ready on the desk with Alex and the rest. So let us know what you think about this. I'm looking forward to Duncan's comments on this.
Thanks very much, Anders and Semler. Day 2 done for you. Much more to come for you guys at home as well, though. They're talking about the seeding, and that's coming up right now. We do it live. We did it yesterday. We'll do it again today. Of course, they're going to quickly go get all that paper all sorted out, and we can do that draw live on air a little later on. But first, of course, YNK, and they mentioned Duncan as well. They said they want to hear what you have to say initially, because a 16-2.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say what everyone was thinking. Okay, Fallen didn't even get in the double digits. They lost that round where they were in a 2v1 situation. They allowed Nero to win it. If you're going to play top quality Counter-Strike, it's important to focus every round. You can't let easy rounds go away like that. If you're a star player, you got to get your numbers on the bottom. No, obviously that was one of the most ridiculous beatdowns you will ever see, especially when you consider it started on the T side. Like, if you're going to see double digits from one team, it's going to be on CT side, usually on Mirage. So absolutely ridiculous stuff. And it's not as though SK just had it easy the whole way. VP, actually, some of them were making plays. They were trying, but there's nothing you could do in this moment.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that despite Virtus.Pro holding a very big kind of weight over none other than SK, the fact that they have won, I think it's 3 offline events now back-to-back when they have met, but they've also conceded a 16-1 and now a 16-2. Like, it's when SK do beat them, they tend to do it in a rather outrageous fashion.
I mean, to be fair, that Moscow game was on train and SK started on SCT, right? That's kind of, you could see it happen every now and then, even in between tier 1 teams. But this, as Duncan pointed out, is on Mirage and on the T side. It's something that you would never expect, especially against a team like VP. So initially, to me, it looked like SK was really exploiting the fact they would immediately get mid control, and then they would like split onto the, first A bomb site, then the B bomb site with ease. But to be honest, as the game progressed, it was just like Fur and Phelps getting entry kills every single round, in different areas of the map, mostly towards mid, but really wherever they wanted to go, they just exerted dominance over VP.
Dominance, I think, is the right word. Virtus.Pro unable to find a single way in, and then, the salt in the wound is you win the pistol in the second half, right? You get it.
Yeah.
And here they come straight back with
I
Deagles.
think the salt was a little bit earlier than that,
do?
Alex.
Okay.
You remember that round where...
Oh, the Taz round?
Veteran player Taz allowed someone to go past him. He did the old, let's see if there's a second guy coming here, because that's the smart play, that's how you get the 2 kills instead of the 1. And then I made a joke on Twitter, but this is actually something that I really feel it must be there hidden in the code, okay? I reckon that the Valve devs got sick of getting shot in the back, because they're all noobs, obviously, and they implemented sort of a comeback mechanic, a bit like the banana in Mario Kart, the blue mushroom or whatever.
The blue shell. I got you, bro.
Which is whenever you spray directly into someone's back and they have no vision of you, okay, you get 1 second in which you're allowed to get that kill, right? If you just spray and you get the kill, it's fine. But after 1 second, the other person's aim goes like an aimbot, and they get like 1 second godlike accuracy, because they always, at that point, if you miss that first part of the spray,
around.
It always goes into your head instantly. You die immediately. So obviously it doesn't matter in this match. Like, it'd be a bit more embarrassing if it had been like 14-14 or something.
Fun fact, it's actually called Bardolph's Law.
Bardolph's Law.
Yeah.
That's a cool one. I like that. Yes, Bardolph's Law aside, that certainly was. It's kind of just like the perfect kind of game in a nutshell. In one exchange of Counter-Strike, that was it. Taz felt like he had an advantage and stolen away from him. But returns to the start, the pre-match, where we did see Cold say, we'd really like to get Mirage. And we were like, okay. In fact, you specifically were like, maybe not going to get it. They get it, and they 16-2 them. SK, they've proven and reminded us quickly of what they are capable of.
I think it was actually Snacks who wanted Mirage, wasn't it?
No, it was Cold, yeah, don't worry.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but still, it was, and one of the players who has been, waiting in the wings to show a performance like that was Phelps. You guys giving him a lot of credit on that T side, Yanko, you and Duncan.
Absolutely. I mean, you could see, I mean, that was probably the perfect example, even though it was against Pistols, you know, how comfortable he is moving around that middle area and especially the window room. But maybe sometimes you could say that there were some lapses by VP. There was a round where SK went for a delayed B split and Phelps just casually walked top mid and all the way to Cat. VP was focused on other parts of the map. I mean, it was a 4v4 situation, so I mean, that shows you like a good call from SK, right? Because in a 4v4, 45 seconds left, mostly CTs will focus on the sides because rarely will the Ts go like delayed mid as a group or something along those lines. But SK actually did exactly that.